A noon is caught flying through the air above a bus stop. Something is breathing inside a portal in the woods. And a stranger watches a man through a torn open roof. What you're about to see has no clear explanation. The Flying Nun. People waiting at a bus stop in Manila, Philippines, saw something pass overhead nobody could explain. A figure in a nun's habit, moving through the air with nothing holding her up. The whole stop went still. Phones came out. Nobody moved. She passed overhead and was gone. The figure from the cave. In a deserted stretch of desert outside Tucson, Arizona, 4 tall, elongated figures stood frozen near a cave. Then something else emerged. A pale figure in a long thobe, moving like a clown, straight out of the dark. It looked directly at the man filming and never looked away. The bird on the lamppost. A man driving a highway outside Jakarta, Indonesia, spotted something perched on top of a lamppost. A massive bird, sitting still. Far too large for what it was resting on. He filmed a few seconds before it vanished, and nobody's agreed on what it was. Figures on the clouds. Filmed over the Philippines, 2 figures appear to stand directly on top of the clouds. Not falling, not flying, just moving, like the sky beneath them is solid ground. Could be an illusion. Nobody's explained exactly how. The cobra on the shore. After heavy flooding near Sinop, Brazil, anglers returned to swollen rivers looking for a catch. Instead, they found a massive cobra stretched along the shoreline. Authorities had already warned snake activity spikes hard after flooding like this. This is exactly what they meant. The woman by the tree.
Come on.
A man in the Appalachian Mountains was waiting on a delivery when he heard a knock. Outside, a figure stood near a tree, completely still, staring at the house. He grabbed his phone as a second knock hit the door. When he checked, there was no delivery, no person, just her, still standing by the tree. The breathing portal. A couple camping in the woods went on a late-night hike and heard labored breathing echoing ahead of them. They nearly fell into a massive hole in the ground, shaped like an opening into somewhere else. The breathing was coming from inside it. Something looked back, slime-like, shaped like an octopus, with eyes, unmistakably alive. The humming orb. A man sitting in his car in a parking lot in Ohio noticed a light traveling toward him. It took shape, a flickering orb, humming low and steady. As it drifted through the lot, car alarms started going off, one after another. The riverbank creature. Tourists trekking near a riverbank in Alaska say they caught something on camera that shouldn't exist. A large dinosaur-like creature moving low along the water's edge. Dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago. Nobody's confirmed what this actually is. The eye in the roof. A man came home late, exhausted, to a house with part of the roof torn open. In the gap above him, something looked down, too dark to see a face. Just the white of one eye fixed on him. He never found out who or what was watching him from up there. The mermaid on the deck. On the deck of a fishing vessel, a crew is gathered around what appears to be a real mermaid. And this one is different. Its face carries the exact features of a human. It doesn't thrash. It doesn't fight. It lies there completely calm, almost as if it knows it's safe. Real, staged, or something else. It's the stillness that unsettles people most. The thing on the wires. On a roadside in Jalisco, Mexico, a single bird glides toward a high-voltage tower. It drifts lower, closer, closer, until one wingtip grazes the live cable. A flash, a crack of light, and in that instant, the shape falling from the tower is no longer a bird. What hits the road below has arms, a body, and 2 enormous wings folded against its back, half human, half something else, as passing cars slow to a stop. No one has been able to explain it. She shoved the bear. In Monrovia, California, a 17-year-old heard the dogs barking in the backyard and stepped out to look. On top of the wall stood a mother bear, cubs beside her, and the dogs right below. She didn't hesitate. She shoved the bear clean off the wall, grabbed a dog, and bolted back inside before it could react. Over in seconds, a teenager, bare-handed, shoving a full-grown bear off a wall to save her dog. The vanishing elephant. On a stage in Bangkok, Thailand, in front of a live crowd, a performer stands beside a full-grown elephant. He throws a flashing red cloth over it, and in a single blink, elephant is gone. Then, the camera pans across the stage, and there it is, standing calmly at the entrance doors. No cage, no curtain. A whole elephant, gone and back in seconds. How is that even possible? The thing under the boat. On a deep water lake near Manali, India, a group of men are out on a small, low-riding boat. One stretches his legs over the side, the water sitting just inches below. Then something enormous erupts from below, straight at his legs. Snake woman in the forest.
I'm recording. Looks like a woman, but look.
Deep inside a dark forest, a car caught something nobody was prepared for. At first, it looked like a fallen branch moving on its own. Then the shape rose up. From the waist up, it had the body of a woman with long hair falling past her shoulders. From the waist down, a thick snake's tail. For a moment, it stared straight into the car. Then, just as quickly, it pulled back and disappeared into the trees. The driver managed to keep recording the whole time. Without that footage, no one would believe what was sitting in that jungle. The screaming creature. It moved low and slow, almost like it did not want to be seen. Then the camera caught its face. The face looked human, but the head was wrapped in something like a fungus-like texture. Long teeth lined a mouth that looked far too human to belong to a sea creature. Below the shoulders, its body looked soft and jelly-like, nothing like skin at all. It looked like it was trying to scream, but no one heard anything. Locals are split on what they saw that night. Some are calling it a real-life kraken. Others say it is something closer to the mermaid legends that have followed this beach for years. Dog-faced creature.
What the hell is that?
A security guard was doing his usual rounds through the jungle late at night when he noticed something standing in the dark. At first, he assumed it was a stray animal. Then he saw the legs. The creature stood upright on two long legs, with two long arms hanging at its sides. Its face looked like that of a dog, but its posture was nothing like one. It simply stood there, watching, completely still. The guard kept his light on for several seconds. It did not move, and it did not run. To this day, no one has been able to say what it actually was. Not an animal, not a person, just something that stood in the dark and watched back. The cave creatures.
Mira, esa cueva siempre estuvo ahí.
In a remote part of Florida, a group of explorers saw a cave they thought was empty. They were not expecting company. From deep inside the cave, several figures came running out, fast and heavy on their feet. Each one had the body of a horse, but the torso of a human rising from the shoulders. The explorers froze. None of them had a plan for this. Whether these were the centaurs of old legend or something else entirely, the footage shows creatures that should not exist running straight at the camera. Flying horse on the beach. At sunrise, locals on a remote beach noticed something massive standing in the shallows. It was a horse, but unlike any horse they had ever seen. Two enormous wings extended from its back, and its body seemed to glow faintly white in the early light. People immediately thought of one name, Pegasus. But the horse was not alone for long. As it tried to climb onto a rock further out at sea, a group of mermaid-like figures began to surround it, circling closer with every second. What started as a sighting of a legendary creature turned into something far stranger. Nobody on that beach knew what they were about to witness next. Doorway snake. This footage started circulating online fast. A giant snake crept toward her open door while she stood inside, unaware until she saw it. She screamed and ran, but the door stayed open. By morning, both were gone, and the house looked untouched, as if nothing had ever happened. Something behind it. You'll want to watch this closely because something in this footage doesn't add up. A car races down a quiet street, but when you slow it down, something is right behind it, keeping up effortlessly. It doesn't look human or even natural. So what exactly was chasing that car that night? She just vanished. A single scream broke the silence that night. Curious, a man checked CCTV the next day and saw a woman walking alone before collapsing. What happened next didn't make sense. A dog emerged and ran off, while she vanished without a trace. No one ever saw her again, and some say this is exactly how skinwalker encounters begin. Dragged at 4 a.m. What happened in this bedroom at 4 a.m. doesn't make sense. She went to bed at 1 a.m., but hours later, the wardrobe door opened by itself. A shadow-like figure came out, pulled her blankets, then dragged her off the bed and into the room. Her boyfriend found her there, but she doesn't remember anything. The empty bed. This video has been circulating with one detail everyone misses. Watch the second table. At first, it's still lifeless. Then, slowly, something beneath the sheet begins to sit upright. The doctor notices and instantly collapses, trying to get away. But according to staff records, that bed hadn't been used in days. So if no one was placed there, what needed to get up? It chose to move. This video has one detail people can't explain. Watch the wheelchair carefully. It doesn't just move, it chooses a direction, rolling out into the open, then stopping with perfect timing. The guard who filmed this says it was across the hall minutes before, so if no one touched it, what decided where it needed to be?
See, no.
Not a prop. This footage changed everything for the owner. The last employee is cleaning up, unaware of what's behind her. A figure stands still until it doesn't. Its head slowly shifts, locking onto her. The moment she sees it, she runs for the exit. She resigned the next morning. So how many of those props were ever real? It wanted attention. You can feel it building in this footage. Quiet disturbances, almost playful, like something trying to get noticed. But when she doesn't respond, it escalates. And by the end, it's not asking for attention anymore. Grabbed in passing. This looks like harmless fun. Two kids running downstairs, laughing. Then the corner hits. One of them gets grabbed by something you barely see. Not fully there, just a shadow. They fight it off and run. It doesn't chase, it waits. She saw something. This video has one moment people can't explain. The plant falls without warning. She turns, expecting nothing, but what she sees stops her cold. Watch her reaction carefully. It's instant, instinctive, like she recognized something she shouldn't. She runs upstairs and never looks back. So, if nothing was there, what made her react like that? Dragged while awake. This footage was captured during a routine night shift, when nothing should be happening. The guard falls asleep, slumped in his chair. Then suddenly, his leg jerks. Not a twitch, a pull. He's dragged across the floor, fully conscious, unable to stop it. It only lets go in the corner. That's the spot employees say always felt wrong. Right behind her. At first, she looks alone on that road. Then, look closer. Something is behind her. Not running, not rushing, just following. Its movement feels off. Too smooth, too deliberate, like it knows she hasn't noticed yet. The moving ball. This video looks harmless at first, just someone resting on a pool table. Then the white ball behind his head starts moving, slowly, no cue, no touch. It rolls forward and taps him. He brushes it off, then it moves again. That's when he runs. Elevator encounter. At first, it's just a malfunctioning elevator. Doors open, refuse to shut. But watch her closely. She starts reacting to something outside the frame. Hiding, peeking, stepping out. She was later found in the rooftop tank. Some believe the encounter started right there. It appeared first. This CCTV clip was reviewed frame by frame, and something appears before impact. A faint black mist forms near the doorway. Seconds later, she's violently shoved forward. No one behind her. Researchers say the shape manifests first, then acts. So what do you think? Random coincidence, or something we're not meant to understand?
High above the city, something unbelievable appears in the sky. Human-like figures glide through the air, moving just like birds. For a moment, everything feels unreal. Then suddenly, police spot the strange sight and open fire, trying to stop whatever's flying above them. The figures scatter across the sky, leaving witnesses shocked and confused, wondering what they actually just saw. Was it a trick? Or something humans were never meant to witness? Have you ever seen a forest breathe? It sounds impossible, but it's a real and fascinating sight. After heavy rain, the soil on the forest floor becomes loose and soft. When strong winds sweep through the tall trees, their massive trunks sway back and forth. Because the ground is softened by water, the trees' roots begin to shift and lift the soil beneath them. From a distance, the forest floor appears to rise and fall, almost as if the land itself were breathing. It's not magic or a hidden creature underground, just the powerful combination of rain, wind, and nature working together in a strange and mesmerizing way. A strange snake-like structure slowly moves toward a hole in the wall. Its long, flexible body twists and slithers in an eerie way, making it hard to tell if it's a real snake or something else entirely. The movement looks unnatural and unsettling, as if the creature is quietly disappearing into the darkness. Moments like this make people pause and wonder what they just witnessed, because sometimes reality can look far more mysterious than fiction. An enormous arthropleura, a prehistoric millipede-like creature, slowly rolls across the ground. This giant arthropod could grow up to 8 feet long, making it one of the largest invertebrates to ever exist on Earth. Its long, segmented body and many legs create a strange, almost alien sight as it moves. Watching something this massive crawl along the ground feels unreal, like a glimpse into a forgotten prehistoric world where creatures grew to unimaginable sizes and ruled ancient forests. Something unusual appears in the middle of the river, and at first glance, it looks like a dinosaur. A large shape moves slowly through the water, creating ripples as it goes. Its long body and strange outline make people question what they are actually seeing. Is it a prehistoric-looking animal, a large reptile, or simply an illusion caused by the water and shadows? Moments like this spark curiosity and mystery, leaving viewers wondering if they just witnessed something truly unbelievable. The famous glitter sand beach on Hormuz Island looks almost magical. As waves move across the shore, tiny mineral particles in the sand reflect sunlight, making the beach sparkle like glitter. The effect becomes even more stunning during sunrise and sunset. This unique shine comes from metal-rich compounds and minerals mixed within the sand. The island is often called the Rainbow Island because it contains more than 70 colorful minerals that create extraordinary natural landscapes. A rare and shocking event occurred when a goat was born with only one eye in the center of its face. This unusual condition, known as cyclopia, is an extremely rare birth defect that affects the development of the brain and skull. The baby goat's single eye made it look very different from normal animals, surprising everyone who saw it. Such cases happen when the embryo's brain fails to divide properly during early development. Although frightening to witness, it is a natural but very rare biological condition that has been documented in both animals and humans throughout history. Sinkholes are natural geological formations that appear when the ground suddenly collapses, creating a deep hole or depression on the surface. They usually form in areas where soluble rocks like limestone, gypsum, or salt exist beneath the soil. Over many years, water slowly dissolves these rocks, creating hidden underground spaces. As these cavities grow larger, the surface above them becomes weaker. Eventually, the ground can no longer support its own weight and suddenly falls in, forming a sinkhole that can vary.
Security camera picked up something standing outside the house in the dead of night that nobody inside had heard approaching, caught in night vision green. Long, dark hair hanging loose, pale-skinned, thin, moving toward the camera with an unnatural stillness that made every single person who watched this footage deeply uncomfortable. The farmers came out to investigate, 3 of them, hats on, moving together like men who had dealt with trouble before. And what followed was a struggle that took all 3 of them to contain. Whatever was wandering around that property in the dark that night, it took 3 grown men to bring it to the ground, and not one of them looked like they felt good about what they were holding down. A farm security camera picked up something standing in the middle of the yard in the dead of night that stopped everyone who reviewed the footage cold. Small, dark, standing completely upright on 2 legs in a way that no known farm animal stands, with 2 pinpoints of light where its eyes caught the camera, just watching, not moving, not running, just standing there in the darkness, staring directly into the lens, like it had been there for a while, and had absolutely no intention of leaving. Then the camera feed began to glitch, distorting, breaking up, lines tearing across the screen in every direction, and when it stabilized again, the yard was empty. Whatever that thing was, it didn't walk away. It was simply there, and then it wasn't. A trail camera at Yellowstone National Park captured something in the frozen darkness that nobody expected to see. A porcupine, covered head to toe in razor-sharp quills that can embed themselves through skin and muscle, was attacking another animal aggressively in the dead of night when the dog appeared out of nowhere. No hesitation, no fear. It charged straight in, bit down on that porcupine, and dragged it away with quills driving into its own face and body with every single movement. The 2 rolled across the ground in a blur of fur and spines, the dog absorbing damage that would make most animals retreat instantly. It didn't retreat, not once. When it was finally over, the dog stood up, shook itself off, and walked away. Some things out there fight not because they have to, but because walking away was never an option. A doorbell camera in Los Angeles captured something walking up the front path in the dead of night that made everyone who reviewed this footage stop and rewind it immediately. Low to the ground, gray-skinned, moving on all 4s with a hunched spine and a face full of jagged teeth that caught the light in a way that made your skin crawl. It was a chupacabra, and it wasn't alone for long. A cheetah came charging out of the darkness and hit it at full speed, sending both animals into a violent rolling blur right there on the front porch. The fight was fast, brutal, and completely unexplainable. Because neither of those animals should exist within 1,000 miles of each other, let alone on someone's doorstep in Los Angeles at midnight. The porch was empty when the camera checked again. Both of them completely gone. A night vision camera inside a farm enclosure at Yellowstone captured something that had already made its way past the fence and was moving through the animals in the dark. Low, fast, with a skull-like face and jaws that dropped open wide enough to wrap around an entire animal's neck in one move. The livestock pressed against the far wall, completely frozen, while this thing moved between them with the patience of something that had done this many times before, and had absolutely no fear of being seen. The farmer reviewed the footage the next morning after finding the enclosure in disarray. What he saw on that camera was so far outside anything he could explain that he posted it without even adding a caption. Sometimes the footage speaks for itself. A farmer walking the edge of his cornfield stopped dead when he spotted something moving between the stalks that had absolutely no business being there. Small, dark, hunched over on all 4s with long, thin limbs, and a body so emaciated it looked like skin pulled tight over a skeleton. Crouching in the dirt between the rows like it had been living in those crops for a very long time. It moved with sharp, twitchy little bursts, pausing every few seconds like it was listening for something.
Lleva días viniendo, yo sabía que algo raro estaba pasando en el cultivo.
Completely aware of its surroundings in a way that felt disturbingly intelligent. Farmers across 3 different countries have reported finding their crops stripped overnight, with no animal tracks left behind, no footprints, no evidence, just missing harvests and a feeling that something was watching from inside the field. Now there's footage, and it's every bit as unsettling as the stories always were. Camera 03, barnyard, 1:13 a.m. Something that had no business being on any farm was already inside the fence. Tall, impossibly thin, moving on legs that bent in entirely the wrong direction, with 2 white eyes that caught the night vision light and glowed straight back at the camera like it knew exactly where to look. It moved through the livestock with a slow, deliberate confidence, bending its elongated body down toward the animals, then straightening back up, then crouching again at a road outside a fence where it cornered something small and completely defenseless. By 1:55 a.m., the barnyard was empty and quiet again. The farmer checked the footage in the morning. 3 animals were unaccounted for, and whatever took them left no tracks, no blood, and no explanation. Just 11 minutes of the most unsettling security footage ever captured on a farm. Inside the quiet farmland, a man stood frozen near a tube well, where something unusual was unfolding in the shadows.
¿Qué es eso?
2 strange, long-tailed creatures were seen moving aggressively inside the structure. The scene didn't feel natural, more like a disruption of balance in a place meant for stillness. Dust, sudden movement, and frantic reactions from the man as he watched, unable to fully process what he was witnessing in front of him. What started as an ordinary day on the farm ended with something no one could properly explain, and even after it was gone, the silence it left behind felt heavier than before. If these moments had you gripped to your screen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more.
People are encountering disgusting creatures that just shouldn't even exist. What they found wasn't just one terrifying creature. It was a series of encounters that left everyone questioning reality. And what was captured next would leave everyone stunned. Here, a spirit drops from the tree and transforms into a horrifying wolf. Three towering griffins stand together, gripping glowing tridents, their wings spread wide under a dark sky. At the center, one larger griffin rises above the rest, crowned in gold and staring forward like a powerful king commanding his fierce and loyal army.
Wow.
A mystical unicorn stands in the jungle, shimmering feathers glowing softly. A bear-like paranormal creature appears at night, captured chillingly on camera. Under the night sky, a wolf attacks a group of sheep in a shed, but its head gets stuck in the doorway as a brave dog barks fiercely, trying to stop it. CCTV captures a mysterious skinwalker in rural Appalachia, West Virginia, approaching a chicken at night before stumbling strangely, fueling fear and curiosity about legendary shape-shifting folklore. A massive gorilla emerges carrying a deer, caught on camera from a car, before suddenly being struck by an oncoming vehicle in a shocking roadside moment.
Oh my God. No! No! It's coming down! Go! 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 Drive! Drive! Oh my God, it's right there! Jesus, just keep going!
A creepy monster politely lurks, silently judging your gardening skills. During a peaceful winter drive in Michigan, a couple's GoPro captures two alleged dogman creatures near the Eerie Paulding Light, turning a snowy back road into daylight terror. In the dark of night, a ghost attacks sheep inside a shed, but gets stuck in the doorway as a brave dog barks fiercely, trying to protect the terrified flock. Late at night, strange voices echo from outside a small rural home.
Well, she just woke me up again and said she heard it on the roof, and this time so did I, so...
Breaking the silence and sending chills through the air. Confused and concerned, a man grabs his torch and camera, determined to find the source of the disturbing sounds. As he slowly steps into the darkness, the beam of his flashlight scans across the yard, trees, and the nearby shed.
You can get out there and have a look.
The whispers grow louder, almost distorted, making his heart pound faster with every step. Suddenly, his light lands on the roof of a nearby hut. There, crouched unnaturally, is a bizarre, frantic-looking creature with glowing eyes and twisted limbs.
Okay. Get the other side.
The man quickly raises his camera, capturing the shocking moment as the creature lets out an eerie sound, forever sealing the terrifying encounter on film.
Oh, damn. Holy shit. All right. Son of a bitch is one on the other side of the house. Oh.
Mysterious chase on road. One night, a group of friends were driving along a deserted road when they noticed a bizarre figure sprinting towards them from the darkness. With hearts pounding, they sped away, the adrenaline coursing through their veins. The camera captured their terror-stricken reactions as the figure came uncomfortably close to their vehicle. Though the chase lasted only moments, it left a lasting impression on the friends, who were forever haunted by the enigmatic encounter. To this day, the unsettling footage continues to perplex viewers, begging the question of what mysterious entity roams the empty roads at night. Poltergeist activity in abandoned shop. April 17, 2010 was a night of terror for the old Phantom 13 team. Having faced repeated break-ins and vandalism at their shop, they decided to install security cameras to catch the miscreants red-handed. Little did they know that what they would capture on tape would transcend mere human mischief. The Eerie video showcased unexplained phenomena, rattling lockers, objects moving on their own, and an unsettling presence that defied all rational explanation. The team was left questioning their own skepticism as the footage raised goosebumps on their viewers' arms. Was it a cleverly executed hoax, or had they inadvertently stumbled upon genuine paranormal activity?
Sasquatch. At first, the residents of the area thought it was just a coyote responsible for the missing animals and spreading fear everywhere, so they set up cameras everywhere in hopes of catching the animal in the act. However, what the camera ended up recording was something that blew their minds. A huge creature was seen lurking in the woods. And what else could it be except for the famous Sasquatch, right? It was never caught, but was never seen ever again either. Maybe it's since that humans have come about it. A gliding creature. What do we call a person gliding through the streets? Not walking like normal human beings, but moving in some otherworldly form? We call it a ghost, and a ghost is what this CCTV camera ended up recording. Now, don't ask me whose ghost it was, because I don't know about that, but it does seem like in a hurry. Maybe he was going on his daily haunting duty. What do you say? A mysterious figure. A crooked, glowing creature moving in the weirdest way possible in the street. If I ever see something like that, I'm going to leave the country for good. I don't know how these people get the courage to actually stand there and record such stuff. And, well, as soon as this video hit the internet, it had everyone in shock. Questions arising from everywhere about the authenticity of the clip and the identity of the creature, but the questions had been unanswered ever since. A sneaky killer. How fast is a mountain lion, and how sneaky is it? If you find yourself wondering such questions, then we're here to give you answers. As this mountain lion sneaked up on the deer, and the deer was all clamped in its claws in a matter of mere seconds, and good thing this was all captured on a trail cam installed somewhere in California, and if you notice, the leap is right on the neck, fast and on target. Amazing.
Tall, furry humanoid. The bigger and furrier it is, the more concerning it gets. After dozens of reports of a tall, furry, human-like figure being noticed in a woods near Winnipeg, a former canine expert was hired by wildlife experts to find and investigate. The canine tracker, after hours of attempting to find the rumored humanoid, was about to call it a day until the notorious being made a sudden appearance as it passed by the tree. The tracker attempted to get a closer look at it, but his dog refused to join into the pursuit, creating a moment of confusion that aided in the humanoid's escape. Fortunately, a camera was installed on the dog harness, which captured the first ever glimpse of this rumored being.
Turns out an autopsy showed the birds were hit by an object, causing internal bleeding and death. It's a strange and sad turn of events, but it's always important to wait for the facts before jumping to conclusions. A weird cloud. Who wouldn't love a fluffy white cloud on a clear blue day? Maybe even a pinkish red sunset cloud can be charming. But imagine being out and about in Turkey and seeing a massive circular bright red cloud standing on its own, detached from the other clouds. It's not exactly your average everyday sight. People started to speculate, and rumors even spread that it might have been a UFO. However, no official confirmation was ever made regarding this strange and unusual phenomenon in the sky. What do you guys think? Do let us know in the comments below.
Hiding alien. Forests are for sure home to many wild animals, but besides these critters, there have been times when some of the most unbelievable things have been spotted. One such outwardly creature was observed in the old, terrifying Appalachian Mountains. A man, while exploring these vast mountains, heard some strange noise coming out of the woods. Thinking of a wild boar, he decided to film, and what he found instead was downright petrifying. A small, unidentified creature was spying at him from behind a fallen log. Upon a closer look, the creature looked more like an alien. Many claimed it could be an injured animal trying to hide from the man. However, the owner of this video still thinks that he has captured an alien. Wood chaser. While walking through the woods, keep your eyes open, because you have no idea what might be sneaking at you from behind one of the scary bushes. Just like this guy, who received the shock of his life while trying to capture some cute moments of cougar babies.
Go away. Go away. I'm big and scary.
Suddenly, from behind a thick bush, a mama cougar emerged and made a crazy growl. The terrified guy tried both to escape and to confront the cougar by keeping an eye on her. He started yelling and grunting while the lion continued to follow him with her teeth flashing, ears pinned, and tail swishing. Fortunately, after those minutes of terror, he managed to pick up a rock and hurl it at her. And that's when she took off running back down the trail. Biped fox. This next footage will surely make you rub your eyes, because we have something new that is not an everyday sight. A UK resident was surprised to spot an extremely rare visitor in his backyard. Though we've seen many biped animals before, most of which are deer, this time it was a biped fox. In this short video, the two-legged fox could be seen moving across the ground skillfully by putting behind its major missing. Although it's unclear whether the critter lost its legs during a fight or it was born disabled, the main thing to notice is that it was still surviving. The fox was named Flexi, and after making this rare appearance, it was not seen again. Lion dog. With their large, muscular bodies, dense lion-like mane, tight, wolf-like feet, and strong jaws, under which lies an abnormal growth, it's no wonder that this unique animal is about to get the top position in the animal kingdom. The curious onlookers couldn't believe their eyes after they found this strange pair of animals, which looked like a cross between a dog and a lion. This odd-looking duo was discovered in the hot and arid desert of Iraq. There are several theories about these strange puppies, as some people believed that they might be hybrid lion-dog animals. Yet another group of people is suggesting that they might be Coochie dogs that are also known as the Afghan Shepherds. Mountain lion burying a bull elk. The trail camera witnessed another distressing scene where the mountain lion is burying a bull elk. First, the mountain lion killed the elk and buried him under the mud. The whole process of concealing it is captured by the camera. The mountain lion ate the flesh of the elk and buried away the leftovers. It is one of the rarest videos in which a lion depicts a human-like character. Burying the dead is indeed not a normal habit of a lion. Horse ignoring the wild wolves. Prepare yourself to see a jaw-dropping clip of a horse wandering around wild wolves. The horse is ignoring the wild wolves around him. He is restlessly rolling in the mud. To our surprise, even the wild wolves are shocked to see the unbothered horse. It seems like the horse has no aim and has come in the company of wild wolves for friendship. Even the wolves are ready for it because they are peacefully staring at the horse. Unexplained creature. This mind-blowing trail footage unravels an unexplained creature. It is a black creature with 4 legs and white, shining eyes, which makes it hard to identify it. Just look at the scary eyes of this animal. On top of that, this video was captured in the dark night with some horror sounds of these wild creatures in the back. With every inch closer to this animal, it gets more horrifying to see. Mike the Headless Chicken. It is very brave of you all for sticking with this. Believe me, some more disturbing shots are yet to come. Have you ever seen a headless chicken? Yes, this is Mike, a headless chicken. It has not only survived a month or two, but has successfully lived up to 18 months. Isn't this spine-chilling? A chicken with no head has lived up to the age of a normal chicken. Told you this is gonna be crazy. 2 bobcats negotiate a date. Trust me, you'll be thrilled to see 2 bobcats negotiating a date. They see each other from a distance and start yowling. As they approach each other, they look into the eyes with constant growling. Both give awkward poses with rapid tail twitching. The gray cat is the female, and the red one is the male. It seems that the whole scene is directed by a renowned director. Can you believe that this loving video was captured on Valentine's Day? Deer sticks out tongue. Deer are known for their naughty behavior. We have mischievous footage for you this time. This is a whitetail from early June in full velvet antlers in the Kamloops, British Columbia area. Deer are fast with their tongues, so we had to freeze the frame at the right moment. This deer was using his nose and tongue to pick up a scent on the trail.
The wolf attack on a man. Once upon a time, there was a cameraman on an instigative adventure deep in the wild. He was on a charge to capture the fugitive and mysterious wolves on film. With his camera ready and heart pounding with excitement, he ventured into the desert. After hours of patient waiting, he eventually stumbled upon a quiet cave. To his amazement, inside the cave were a mama wolf and her bitsy, lovable babies. The cameraman could not believe his luck, and he sluggishly moved closer to get the perfect shot. But as he inched nearer, the mama wolf grew nervous and defensive. In an unforeseen, fearful moment, she attacked the cameraman, teeth disclosed and growling. He realized he'd come too close, too quickly, and the wolf was only trying to defend her precious pups. In a frantic struggle, the cameraman fought to cover himself, trying not to harm the wolf. Ultimately, he managed to retreat safely, shaken, but alive. It was a lesson learned about considering the wild and the significance of keeping a safe distance from its inhabitants. A hungry monkey. Once upon a time in a big hot desert, there was actually an empty monkey. The sun was shining so brightly that the sand felt like a hot roaster. The monkey's abdomen rolled loudly, and he could not ignore his hunger any longer. With his little monkey hands, he dug into the hot beach, looking for being to eat. At first, all he set up were some dry sticks and rocks, but he did not give up. He knew that the desert had secrets hidden deep beneath the beach. Also, after some digging and forbearance, he set up a secret treasure, a juicy, ripe cactus fruit. The fruit was a bright orange color and looked so appetizing. The monkey could not believe his luck. His eyes sparkled with joy as he plucked the fruit from the cactus and bit into it. The sweet and juicy meat cooled his parched throat, and he savored every bite. With each bite, the monkey's hunger sluggishly evaporated, and he felt a renewed energy. He knew he'd set up a mess fit for a desert king, and he enjoyed every last bit of that delicious cactus fruit. The monkey, now gratified and full, lay back in the shade of the cactus, appreciative for his desert feast.
Elk with a tire. So there was this video from a trail cam that showed an elk wearing a tire like a necklace. Can you believe it? For 2 whole years, this poor guy just went about his business with the tire around his neck. As time passed, his antlers and neck grew bigger, making it impossible for him to remove the tire by himself. Thankfully, the wildlife officials stepped in to help. They gave him some medicine to make him sleep and then tried to take off the tire. But unfortunately, they had to cut off his antlers too. But don't worry, the elk will grow a fresh new pair of antlers soon enough. A genet. Did I just see a tiny cat chilling on the backs of some huge animals? When this video first hit the internet, it was pretty mind-blowing and left everyone wondering how the cat was so chill about it all. Some folks even quipped that the cat must have been crowned the new queen of the animal kingdom. But wait, the experts had their say too. They explained that the cat, which is a genet, was probably just being clever and using the other animals as a lookout for hunting. How cool is that? That little cat definitely knows how to get what it wants. The subscribers pick. This image shows us a weird, long, whitish creature in the woods. Doesn't it look really, really scary? Well, if you're thinking this might be real, let us assure you it isn't. The image belongs to a very famous horror artist named Trevor Henderson, and along with this one, he's made a couple of other creatures too, including the famous Siren Head, the cartoon cat, the bridge worm, the wandering faith, and many more. But who knows? There's always a chance that some of them can be real. Elephants. This incredible trail cam video captured a herd of elephants passing through the jungle. It's such a rare sight to see these majestic animals in their natural habitat, and this footage is truly breathtaking. The elephants appear so mighty as they make their way through the forest, with the females and young ones all together. It's amazing to think that trail cams can capture these kinds of moments in the wild, and this video's a great reminder of the beauty and power of nature.
Sasquatch shadow. It appears here for a split second before disappearing. What may this flashing object be that was captured on camera? Many people thought the animal captured on camera was a mountain lion or possibly a bear. But when the footage was shown to the investigators, they discovered that the animal was actually a baby Sasquatch. This is due to the animal's incredible speed and the plausible head that appears on the camera, indicating that it's a bipedal animal. A second identical creature was seen on video, most likely excavating on the forest's ground. It appears to have limbs and legs similar to the rumored Bigfoot. So, is that video footage of a Bigfoot? Or do you have a better explanation? Tell me, please. Biped wolf. Driving close to a forest after midnight, the motorist had to apply the brakes right away after seeing something strange. No, it wasn't a Yeti, but rather a wolf ambling on its hind legs. He was already terrified of the stories of the Bigfoot. But hold on a second. Is that a wolf, really? Its slender limbs, peculiar feet, and hardly noticeable ears don't really give it a dog-like appearance. However, it does possess the wolf's fuzzy-like skin. Is that a wolf or some other kind of animal? Tell me what you think of the odd wolf photo. Intruder alert. When the camera was recording the bald eagle's nest, something unsettling happened. Initially, the mother eagle is observed tending to the eggs and then taking a brief flight away from the nest. Upon her return, another eagle joins the nest. Even though the female recognizes the predator's plan, she waits for the initial move while sitting on the eggs. However, it continues to vocally warn the eagle. Not one to go away empty-handed, the male eagle steps forward a little. He was going to charge the one who was seated when she sprung directly in front of him, knocking him from the tree. She then checks the area to make sure her eggs are secure.
A suspected alien. When a man decided to act brave and go and investigate a haunted house, he did not expect that he would actually find something very creepy inside. As he moved forward while filming the house, his camera landed on a dark figure staring straight at him, which of course freaked the man out, and the video ended there. What exactly was that thing? Does it look like an alien to you? Again it. When these pictures hit the internet, they caused quite a stir. People were shocked to see a small cat perched on the backs of several larger animals, and wondered how could they be so calm about it. Some even joked that the cat must be the new queen of the animal kingdom. However, experts chimed in with a more practical explanation. The cat, again it, probably climbed on the animals to get a better vantage point for hunting. Talk about being a crafty hunter. An alien on roof. So this guy in Brazil was minding his own business when he saw something strange on a rooftop and started filming. The footage shows a bizarre creature that looks like a massive ant chilling on the roof. Some people are convinced it's an alien, but to me, it just looks like a really big ant. I mean, who knows what kind of creepy crawlies are out there in Brazil, right? The weirdest part is that the creature disappears right after the guy spots it. What was it up to? We may never know. A massive spider. Okay, so we stumbled upon this video online, and it's given me the heebie-jeebies. It's basically a ginormous spider, seriously massive, climbing up a building. I mean, who even wants to encounter this thing in real life? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the star of my nightmares for the next few weeks. But to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's real or just some kind of prank. Either way, I'm not taking any chances and staying far away from wherever this was recorded. A glowing creature. While some people were out late at night, they lost their way and ended up on a creepy road. Not knowing where to go, they stopped their car and were looking here and there. That is when this creepy glowing creature comes out from one side and runs to disappear on the other. It appeared to be on all four legs and was running in a very weird way to consider it a human. For some, it was a skinwalker, while for others, it was nothing but a hoax. But what do you guys think? Alien-like creature. Talking about strange creatures spotted in the woods, there's also this video. A man found this creepy tiny thing lying on the ground in the forest. While recording it, the man tried moving it with the help of a stick, but it was of no use as this thing wasn't alive. But with such a strange appearance, what even was that? Some kind of alien?
Coyote and deer. There was a wounded deer visible in front of the trail camera. Two tiny but ferociously hungry coyotes are standing behind it, waiting for the buck to faint so they can get to the meat. Even though the buck is awake, it appears as though it has given up on life because it does not defend itself from the coyotes that are getting closer. However, the coyotes don't always come out on top in the end, just like this. The mother deer appears to be in front of the camera, gathers her two fawns, and leaves the woodland after realizing that a brush wolf has been pursuing her young. And then, a little while later, the mother deer was spotted once more, sprinting after the coyote and narrowly missing it by a few inches. She was later observed circling around a bushy tree in an attempt to capture the fleeing coyote. She was unable to do so, but she managed to save her young from the predators. Hyena chases wildebeest. The coyote surprised the people by capturing the herd of wildebeest during the safari that came rushing towards them. One of them is visible breaking away from the herd, even though the others adhered to the directive to stick to the herd. and seizing the opportunity, the predator began pursuing it, even though it had moved a short distance and the coyote was still having difficulty catching up with it. After a while of running and chasing each other, they were both observed once more, but this time the wild beast was seen fighting the predator. But after growing weary of the chase, the beast eventually met his demise.
Monster in the woods. Some friends were having the time of their lives camping in the woods, having snacks and bonfire and movie night. But then one of the friends went somewhere and minutes passed, but she did not come back. While they were all worried, they had to go check on her. And as they ventured deep into the woods searching for the friend, at first they hear her scream. And then a strange creature comes into view. A spider-like being crawling terrifyingly towards them. What was that? Well, nobody knows. Mysterious being. These two guys were out in the woods late at night. They thought it was a good idea to have some fireworks where no one will get disturbed. However, what they did not know is that someone will get disturbed, and it won't be good for them. As they were doing their thing, shrieks could be heard, and then they decided to go investigate it. And that's when we see the weirdest being possible shrieking and following the men.
Is it still there?
Go! No! Run! Run!
They did make it out alive, but that was one hell of a close call. An alien. Who recorded this video? Who uploaded it on the internet? What exactly was this alien doing? Well, these are some of the questions which remain unanswered, and we're only left with this eerie clip, which looks like it belongs to some kind of secret alien interrogation thing. And if you ask me, I'd say from the view of it, the video looks as legit as anything can be. But do let us know what you guys think. A scary looking thing. About this video, everyone has their own opinions. Some say it's just a gorilla, while others say it's a weird crawling creature, and to some it also looks like a spider. However, no matter what the being is, the way it slowly moves towards the camera, freaking out the man recording it,
What the fuck is that? Okay.
looks like something straight out of a horror movie. A terrifying beast. As a man was recording this massive waterfall, he started noticing something weird. As he zoomed in, he saw a mysterious black creature at the very edge of the waterfall. What was it? Definitely not a plant, because the area did not look like it had any plants there. To some, it was an unknown being, while to others, it was someone with safety gear sitting at a very dangerous spot. Real or fake? It looked really creepy.
A snake. Now, this video features a man who decides to take a photo in the woods. So he set up the camera and stepped away to get the perfect shot. Little did he know, as he squatted for the shot, a sneaky snake fell from above and startled him. In a panic, he threw the snake aside and took off running for dear life. It's a hilarious reminder to always keep an eye out for unexpected visitors in nature. A Russian satellite. Get ready to witness a cosmic spectacle in this video. It captures the moment a glowing meteor-like object streaks through the night sky, leaving a trail of light in its wake. The person behind the camera was awestruck. Being an avid meteor shower watcher, they had never seen such a long-lasting meteor. In a rush of excitement, they quickly grabbed their phone and started recording the mesmerizing sight. But for those who are still wondering what it was the remains of a Russian satellite which somehow got destroyed and fell towards the Earth. A black smoke ring. In this intriguing and captivating video, a mysterious black smoke ring can be seen hovering over the tops of several buildings. The smoke ring appears to be dense and perfectly circular, with a distinct border that separates it from the sky. Despite its ominous appearance, the source of the smoke ring remains unknown, leaving many to speculate on what it could be. Some believe that the ring may be a portal to another dimension or universe, while others think that it could be a strange atmospheric phenomenon. Regardless of its origin, the smoke ring is sure to leave a lasting impression on those who witness it.
Skinwalker. This pale creature, who appeared to be elderly, was observed strolling around Kentucky in 2022. Inspiring paranormal buffs, this video went viral right away. The video's unsettling atmosphere is enhanced by the alien-looking humanoid monster that is seen strolling down an abandoned street. It also appears to be a little slumped over. The creature appears to be lurking from somewhere and has a faceless body. Is it a ghost captured on camera, or might it really be an alien hiding from humans? While many people accept the visuals that have been supplied, some people reject the hypothesis and contest the veracity of the film, arguing that it might actually be a human being walking strangely. So, whose side are you on? Let me know. Lion attack. In 2018, a strange-looking creature was discovered in a tiny Russian village. The farmer was walking home from a busy day when he noticed this freaky head emerging from the ground. He was captured on camera in a cornfield. He discovered the entire thing after going a little further, and it was much stranger than before. It resembled an undiscovered prehistoric species that had been discovered buried, thanks to its strange eyes and even stranger torso. And despite the fact that the scientists examined it right away, nothing has come to light. This gave it an even more ominous appearance. Rake caught in dark. The man who lived close to the woods decided to investigate after hearing unusual noises emanating from somewhere deep within the forest. Following his friend, they spent nearly an hour searching the dense forests without finding anything. They made the decision to go back. However, they began to hear the grunting sound once more as they were returning. And as soon as they turned their cameras to the other side, they saw a frightening thing that resembled an alien sitting next to a tree. When the cryptid realized it had been captured, it turned to face the boys and glared at them with its terrifying glowing eyes. They were eventually forced to flee back to their house. Ghostly Shadow. Living in the middle of the dark forest, the man had been spotting a strange shadow in his backyard. Therefore, after several appearances, he decided to follow it this time. Waiting for it on the other side, it was when he shifted that he spotted a huge shadow between the trees. It was a huge, slightly distorted shadow that was caught walking in the woods and left the people in shock as they considered it one of the most convincing evidence of an apparition captured. Snowy Bigfoot. Standing in the middle of nowhere, a group of explorers spotted this bizarre bipedal creature walking down the mountain. It had a huge body all covered in thick black hair. With a few claiming it to be another hiker walking on the mountain, onlookers stated that the creature was not wearing any snowshoes. Therefore, the examiners revealed that walking on the snow slope without any visible support would be impossible for a human. And the fact that it covered such a long distance in only a few seconds, right when the camera recorded the broad view, left the people stunned. Because, well, again, walking with such fast speed in snow is a hard task to do for any person. It's time for today's open discussion. A man heard some strange noises coming from his backyard, and going out to see what's happening, he did not capture anything in the woods present near his house. But it's when he shifts his camera that he spots the cryptid. With his back towards him, it felt like the creature was trying to take a big leap to reach the rooftop. Scared but trying to get rid of the creep outside his house, the man tossed a stick towards it, and then, turning around to see the man, not in a mood to react, the creature jumped on the roof, climbed it, and ran towards the other side. Though it is not known where it went, the camera captured it again, this time running on a road. But the huge size got the spectators thinking if it was really the exact creeper, or if some other creature had been wandering in their area. A bird staring. Like ostriches and other long-necked creatures, this bird doesn't scare easily. So, when he noticed that something was off, he took a menacing stance and decided that an eye-to-eye confrontation with the camera would let everyone know who's the boss around this neck of the woods. Raccoon. This raccoon was trying to get to the bird feeder above, so he and his friends could have some food. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the food, but he did spray the bird seeds around so his hungry buddies could eat. Maybe this act of kindness earned it some points among its kind. Who knows? Grim Reaper. Most people know who the Grim Reaper is. He's basically death personified. This mythical character is often depicted wearing a cloak and carrying a scythe, which he uses to extract souls. But did this trail camera manage to capture an actual photo of him? It's either that, or a random stranger who decided to dress up and play a prank. A basketball lover. Who says that basketball is just for humans? This deer wouldn't mind going one-on-one with Michael Jordan or LeBron James on the basketball court. Unfortunately, it would be a very short game, as this poor deer got the ball stuck in its antlers. A standoff. A raccoon and a deer were caught in the middle of a standoff, or rather a stare-off from the looks of it, and things got tense. But if we had to bet money on this fight, we can't help but assume that the deer would win. Just look at its menacing eyes. Bear helps cub. Wild animals aren't always looking to attack each other for food. Take this photo for instance. You can see a large bear lifting a cub so that it can dig through the garbage bin looking for food. Is this a great example of teamwork, or what? Disturbed beings. If there's one thing humans should have learned by now, it's that deer aren't always as cute as Disney movies make them out to be. A trail camera caught a bunch of deer staring at the device, and judging by the looks on their faces, it's safe to assume they're not too welcoming of the technological device. Fisher cat. Not everyone knows that the animal caught on this trail cam is a fisher cat, and for months after the video was uploaded, the animal was considered as unknown and undiscovered. But we're here to tell you that this isn't an unknown animal, and in fact is a species of cat who's not found everywhere. They are not, however, considered felines. Just because of the way they look, they have been termed as fisher cats. Weird, right? A huge bear. Not everyone likes their picture being taken, and it isn't just us humans, but animals don't like it sometimes too. For instance, this huge bear. As the motion-activated camera sensed someone nearby, it started taking pictures with the flash, and the flash part is what the bear did not like at all. Good thing it did not try and destroy the camera, or else it had been impossible to get this clip.
Smartest orca alive. Some of you may already know that orcas are some of the most intelligent creatures ever known to humans. These animals are incredible. Not only do they learn quickly, but they can also communicate with and comprehend humans. However, what this orca managed to accomplish was beyond genius. At first, the orca had a fish that was given to it as a snack. The orca decided to put it to good use. It hurled it towards the seagulls, and then it waited until one of the unfortunate seagulls tried to get the fish. The orca used the fish as bait, and in the end, it was successful in carrying out its genius strategy. We should also add that it did this quite skillfully. We should all be amazed by their intelligence and skills. You don't get to see this every day. The fish zombie. This fish seems to be apparently dead and dried out with no sign of life, until someone splashes some water on it. Suddenly, it pops back to life once more. Or was it ever dead in the first place? This sight is definitely a bizarre one, and if someone had told us about something like this without us seeing it, we would never have believed it. Watching it is really weird, but you can't deny something you see with your own eyes, can you? This crazy fish is called a suckermouth catfish. This species of fish has a very special ability that helps it survive up to 20 hours out of the water. So even at first glance you see a fish that is all scaly and dried up, don't be too quick to throw it into the pot of soup. You might have one messy situation on your hands. These dried out fish are just waiting for someone to put them back into the water. The super speedy croc. We're sure when you first saw a croc in action, you were grateful that these killing machines were not fast enough to catch you in the wild. What if I told you that you were wrong about that? A lot of people think they could outrun crocodiles because they are known all over the world for being super strong, but also super slow. However, it now seems that crocs have adapted their hunting style. This video shows a croc galloping and hopping like a horse or some weird cheetah. They have now become stronger and faster, so you better beware. Fish trapped in a jellyfish. The ocean can be a terrifying place, whether you are close to the surface or deep down below. At any moment, you can see something that will scare you for the rest of your life. In this clip, we can see two tiny fish traveling inside a jellyfish. It's almost as if the jellyfish is acting like a bus and transporting these cute little fellas. Now, isn't that jellyfish just a kind of creature to give these fishes a ride? While the fish may not know this particular jellyfish produces a pretty deadly kind of venom. Little do they know that they need to get out of their hiding spot as fast as possible, or else they might dissolve in there without ever knowing what hit them. Colugo. Now, this weird-looking creature that is before your eyes is not a scary mythical creature, but in fact, a mammal known as the colugo. We're pretty sure in ancient times, this creature must have been worshipped or something like that. It looks like something out of a scary children's tale. I mean, look at it. It is clingy, huge, loud, and with a very creepy voice. The colugo has webbed legs and hands. No matter how closely you look, there's not a single thing you can find adorable here. Well, unless you're into that sort of thing, of course.
Seizured lion. Moments after hunting its prey, a lion was observed in an extremely distressed situation. It walked around in circles before keeling over, its paws in the air. Suddenly, its body began jerking erratically before shaking uncontrollably. For the safari tourists, it seemed quite funny, but the reality behind this is utterly shocking. The lion, who appears to be shaking its body in an odd way, was actually suffering from seizures. According to some wildlife experts, the lion was an epilepsy patient and was found normal after these bizarre fits. Another lion was spotted in the same condition. However, it died afterward and was thought to be infected by CDV, an epidemic virus that has caused several fatalities within the Serengeti ecosystem of South Africa. In the middle of the forest, a trail camera caught a tiny yet terrifying creature. Weirdly covered in brown hair, it had a skinny body through which the innards were quite visible. Well, not just that, the vicious creature was also missing one of its legs. And even with such frightening features, it was anxiously running from something and was trying to reach the long trees to hide itself. But where did it come from, and from whom was it running? That is still a mystery. Chasing beast. A man suffering from Bigfoot fever while exploring a thick forest to capture the latest sightings of this mythical creature was petrified to hear a loud, terrifying scream. Apparently, no one was seen anywhere, so he decided to check for the animal. And instead of spotting the animal, he was welcomed by a huge, black figure, which was already waiting for him behind the dense woods. Filled with fear, he started running. As if spotting the giant dark figure wasn't that scary, the actual terror began when the great Bigfoot, rather than hiding or running away, started chasing its hunter. Fortunately, the man managed to escape, and the chasing beast vanished behind one of the bushes. Road crossing ghost. Even famous for being haunted, two friends decided to visit the eerie jungle anyway. Well, one who seeks it will be the one who finds it. And there it was, a weird translucent figure appearing right in front of them and crossing the road so swiftly that they thought they were imagining it. But then, not wanting to be forgotten, the weird creatures appeared again from the other side of the road. And this time, its humanoid body was quite visible. Possessed sheep. Circling round and round in the farm, something is seriously wrong with this sheep flock. Ignoring it at first, the farmer did not bother to notice the strange behavior for the first 24 hours. But when it did not stop, and they continued circling for 7 days, yeah, a whole week, that's when he got worried. Because how on earth can an animal do this? This remained a mystery till today, because no one has ever seen any animal possessing such a strange behavior. So, what do you think could be the reason behind it? Were the animals really possessed? Or might there be a justification for this weird stunt?
From a spooky human-like strange creature, to an alligator crunching on a fish, to a boar spinning around in a circle, prepare to be amazed and disturbed by what these cameras have captured in the wild. Trail cameras were created to capture the wonder of the wild and the magnificent creatures that roam the earth. But not all the footage captured is as lovely as one might expect. The wilderness is full of surprises, and sometimes the things we capture on film are not what we're hoping for. So sit back and join us on a journey into the unknown as we bring you to the 17 weirdest things ever caught on trail cameras. Prepare to be shocked, frightened, and disturbed as we delve into the depths of the mysterious and the unexplainable. "17. A badger engaging into an intense scratching." Tens of thousands have been captivated by this video. As you can see in this video, a badger is engaging in some intense body scratching. The animal is using its front paws to dig into its fur, almost as if it's trying to scratch an itch that just won't go away. This behavior is not something you typically see in the wild, and it's left us wondering what could be causing the badger to act this way. There could be several reasons why the badger is exhibiting this behavior. One possibility is that it has a skin irritation or parasite infestation. Badgers, like all animals, are susceptible to fleas, ticks, and other parasites that can cause skin irritation. By scratching, the badger is trying to relieve the itching sensation. Another possibility is that the badger is trying to remove loose fur or matted hair. This is a common behavior in animals during the molting season, when they shed their old fur and grow new hair. 16. Boar spinning around in circles. A forest is a magical place full of wonder and mystery. It's a place where creatures and animals can be themselves without the prying eyes of humans. When no one is watching, they reveal their true personalities and behaviors. And sometimes, we're lucky enough to catch a glimpse of it. In this amazing video, we witness a boar in the heart of the forest at night doing something quite unexpected. The boar starts to spin itself as if it's lost in a trance or caught up in the moment. This behavior is rarely seen among animals and is truly mesmerizing to watch. The boar is just enjoying itself without a care in the world. Watching this video is a reminder of the beauty and simplicity of nature. It's a reminder that animals just like us have personalities and can experience joy and happiness. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of modern life and forget about the wonder of the natural world. But videos like this one remind us to slow down, take a breath, and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. 15.
Struck by owls. While exploring Arizona's deep forests, explorers have claimed to have seen a large number of dead birds. They were also able to determine the cause by installing their trail camera. These unfortunate eagles, resting on the tree, had no idea that a predator was waiting for them. When he was initially hidden in the dark woodland, the only way to identify the flying predator was with his bright eyes. Waiting for the right moment to strike, and then taking it, it materializes out of the shadows and accomplishes his intended task, striking the dozing eagle with his powerful claws. With his intensity, it appears nearly impossible for him to stop coming. where in their defense the eagles have most likely forgotten to soar. They could see the squirrel taking care of it for them. He made a huge, seemingly airborne leap as soon as he realized he was going to be attacked. However, this is where the owl was seen abruptly appearing on the track and striking the rider in the face. Wood chase. The days of mountain lions avoiding human interaction are long gone, as they are now frequently spotted interacting with hunters, and yes, even pursuing hikers. Like this time, a hiker on the route came with an enraged cougar. Trying to get the cougar to go away, practically pleading with it, the man turned to go back but was unable to turn around because that hungry predator would have an open invitation to go after him.
I promise. I'm not going away.
Since it's already waiting for its chance to assault the man. The man did indicate his safe return when he published the video, despite the fact that it ended in the middle of the chase. And here it was, a bear that had been seen pursuing the rider into the woodland. The bear bolted toward the cyclist, appearing out of nowhere among the trees. Even though he was riding quickly, the man was startled by a falling tree. He immediately got to his feet and raced to the right side of the woods, where he was fortunately spared from the assault. Sasquatch hunting. Paul Freeman, who was always on the lookout for Bigfoot in the impenetrable forests, gained notoriety in the late 1990s for presenting the most reliable Bigfoot evidence. And it's one of those unquestionable catches here. Captured in 1994 in Oregon's Blue Mountains, while on a walk in the woods, Paul noticed movement behind one of the trees. He quickly opened his camera and saw the walking bipedal ape. Heart thumping, he continued filming the hirsute beast, terrified by his discoveries. The hairy cryptid was big enough to be seen, even if it was moving slowly. Following analysis, he went on to say that it was a massive beast that stood at least 2 meters tall. Gazelle ditches lion. When it comes to the lion versus any other wild animal, I believe that we are all a little biased toward the king of the jungle. However, this video will totally shift your point of view. A group of explorers was filming a gazelle drinking water in the Serengeti National Park when they noticed a lion coming stealthily in. They also predicted the outcome. Just as the lion was about to seize the gazelle, it surprised it with its incredible speed and leapt over it, heading in a different direction, surprising both the onlookers and the lion. As the gazelle managed to preserve itself, it was undoubtedly a memorable defeat, and the lion was unable to turn around due to his rapid speed. Well, if it was a stall, I must say, gazelles are quite good at it. Shocking, terrifying, and some utterly bizarre. Always boggling people's minds are these terrifying cryptids that live among the woods, which, though caught for the tiniest moment, provide enough proof of their existence. So, get ready for a ride in the woodland to capture these beings in their natural habitat. Bigfoot tossing tree. How could this Bigfoot be able to toss a tree like that? Taking a stroll in the woods, things took a terrifying turn when the man spotted a Bigfoot sitting on the trail. Well, it was not only sitting, but the hairy figure was actually preparing to launch a tree in the air. And here it goes. Terrified of the giant animal, though the man could not record it any further, experts, while analyzing the footage, explained that the tree was no less than 3 meters long, and the creature throwing it in the air was no doubt a superhuman, as no ordinary man would be able to make such a big throw with only a slight movement in his arm. And even if it's not a Bigfoot, this has to be a supernatural being that was caught on camera. Georgian Bigfoot. Scared, but still chasing the massive beast, this man is determined to get even a glimpse of the alleged Bigfoot. Vacationing on the Blue Ridge in Georgia and taking a stroll on the trail in daytime, this man heard a large growl coming from the dense forest. Recording the entire time, the man luckily captured the Bigfoot walking among the woods. Running towards the Bigfoot's direction, the man can be heard forcing his fellows to go back inside, as who knows whether the giant animal might attack them. And because the video ends abruptly, what happens next could not be known. Mountain lion versus elks. There's only one end to anything that stands against the mountain lion, which is, well, you're about to know what it is. While grazing on the lush green pastures, these elks had no idea that a predator was slowly moving towards them. And then they all realized that they were in danger. But it was too late to run, as the predator could ambush from anywhere, and they clearly don't have any idea where it was hiding. So they wait till the cougar makes the first move. And here it comes, pouncing straight at the elks from the far right corner. Not capturing the entire attack on camera, the owner revealed that he did find a calf's carcass a few meters away from the site. Bear attacks wolf's den. Though it might be a little disturbing for some of the viewers, that's just how the animals survive in the wild. A man, while setting up his camera, spotted a red fox earth. Taking a look inside, he found wolf cubs staying there in a den. And then the trail camera recorded a bear digging the den to get to the wolf pups. Destroying it speedily, the bear could be seen looking inside for the pups. And just when the bear leaves, the wolf parents could be seen coming back. Terrified of the invader, even after spotting the bear digging the burrow, they did not try to go near it. But, worried for their pups, the wolves came back there again at night, and probably found their dead or half-eaten babies and left.
A fish. In this wild and crazy CCTV clip, things take a turn for the unexpected. A peaceful street is shown with a couple of cars parked, minding their own business. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a fish comes plummeting from the sky, landing straight on top of one of the vehicles. The sound is so loud, it wakes up the neighbors, and one woman, armed with her curiosity, rushes out to see what's going on. The scene is truly a comical one, leaving everyone scratching their heads in wonder. Who knew that fish could fly, and in such an unpredictable manner too? Red rain. In a series of video clips, the mysterious and awe-inspiring phenomenon of red rain is captured. The red rain, which is actually made up of small red particles, falls from the sky and dyes everything it touches a deep shade of red. Scientists have been unable to fully explain this phenomenon, but many theories suggest that the red particles are the result of the release of red dust from the upper atmosphere, or from an extraterrestrial source. The sight of the red rain is truly mesmerizing and has left many onlookers in awe. Despite the lack of explanation, the red rain continues to captivate people with its beauty and intrigue. A big ice chunk. Alright folks, you won't believe what this woman caught on camera. She was just filming the cloudy sky in this massive building, minding her own business, when all of a sudden she sees a hunk of ice falling from the sky. She freaks out and starts shouting warnings to anyone nearby.
Oh my God, watch out!
Lucky for everyone, no one was in the direct path of the falling ice. Can you imagine getting hit by a giant chunk of ice? Talk about a bad day.
A visitor. Imagine you're at home, catching some me time or just enjoying some alone time when you glance over and see an alien's head staring straight at you through the window. I mean, that'd freak anyone out, right? Luckily for us, a guy with a camera in his home caught the whole thing on video. It's easily one of the spookiest and clearest sightings of an alien ever caught on camera. A creepy monster. This massive creature was filmed by a man who went out to do some walk in the woods. When he was on it, he heard voices which sounded very similar to a baby crying. Intrigued, he had to go see where the sound was coming from and came across this. A giant weird thing crying and crawling on the ground. But worry not, because this is just a giant salamander who's known to vocalize barking whining, hissing, or crying sounds. A strange creature. This trail cam footage might look very normal to you at first, but wait till it starts getting creepier. See that? See how the deer was about to turn into some kind of a monster? Well, it's been edited with some pretty impressive AI software that makes the deer look like they're transforming into demonic creatures. I just wanted to share it to show how advanced our technology has become. Pretty scary, right? A river monster. At first, people watching it thought it was an alligator or something, but then they saw it move in the strangest way possible. It was moving only with the help of its strong tail. Also, its front legs were missing. Was it just an alligator with its front legs missing? Or is it some type of evolving river monster which will wash out the whole human race? What do you guys think?
The beer rings the doorbell. One spooky night out in the wild woods, there was a curious bear on the prowl. This furry friend had a freak glamour for doorbells. Little did anyone know that a trail camera had its open-eyed eye on the scene. As the moon cast creepy dark, the bear approached a lonely house. In the pitch-black night, it reared up on its hind legs like a big, light jumbo, and with a heavy paw, it reached out to press the doorbell. It was a bit like a big, furry cutlet poking at the button. The trail camera, hidden hard, snapped a print just in time to capture this unforeseen moment. The bear's sportful curiosity, or maybe its mischievous intentions, were a riddle, but the image revealed a humorous side of nature. The house, unknowing of the darkness caller, stayed quiet as the bear's bell-ringing adventure came to an end. This strange but fascinating event was a remembrance of the surprising encounters that can be in the wild, indeed when we least await it. Lion killed the cheetah. Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny day, there was a big, strong lion and a fast, spotted cheetah. They both lived on a farm with lots of creatures. The lion and the cheetah were always trying to prove who was the powerful. One day, the captain and the cheetah had a big fight. The captain was actually strong, with sharp teeth and strong muscles. He roared loudly and showed his strength. The cheetah, on the other hand, was quick and graceful. She ran around trying to outsmart the lion. In the end, after a fierce battle, the lion managed to catch the cheetah. With a strong swipe of his paw, he defeated the cheetah. It was a tough day for the ranch, as the lion had shown his strength and won the battle. The other creatures watched in astonishment as the lion proved his dominance, but they also felt sad for the courageous cheetah. This day became a part of the farm's history, a day when the lion showed his power, and the cheetah's spirit faded from memory. Thank you for coming along on this spooky adventure with us. Subscribe to our channel if you want more spine-chilling stories and hair-raising encounters, and remember to set that notification bell to ensure you get all the updates on our fascinating adventures.
A skydiver. This video depicts a skydiver's heart-stopping moment during a high-altitude jump. At 8,000 feet above the ground, the skydiver's parachute malfunctioned, causing them to plummet towards the earth at a breathtaking speed of 30 miles per hour. Despite the potentially fatal situation, the diver was able to navigate the reserve chute and make a safe landing, avoiding any serious injury. The video captures the adrenaline-fueled moments of the jump and serves as a testament to the quick thinking and training of the skydiver. Iguanas falling. It's a strange scene that is being reported from Florida, where iguanas are seen falling from the sky. That's right, you heard it correctly. Iguanas raining from the sky! This bizarre occurrence is due to an extreme drop in temperature, which has caused the lizards to freeze on the trees and fall off. Although they may appear to be dead, the wintry spell has only temporarily immobilized them, causing them to slip into a temporary coma. Although they aren't dead, authorities have warned people not to bring these wild animals inside their homes, as they may get defensive and potentially attack when they warm up. The sight of these strange creatures falling from the sky was a surreal experience for the residents of Florida. Giant hailstones. Nature has shown its power with a vengeance in Catalonia, Spain. The region was hit by a sudden and devastating hailstorm that left destruction in its wake. Those hailstones were no ordinary size, with some measuring over 11 centimeters in diameter. The storm shattered windows, roofs, and cars and left over 50 people injured. And the most heartbreaking part of this tragedy was the loss of a 20-month-old girl, even though it only lasted 10 minutes. But those were 10 minutes of pure terror. This was the worst hailstorm to hit the region since 2002, and is believed that the unusually hot summer played a role in creating these vicious storms. There are times when the unknown happens in woods, from alien-like creatures and weird mutant deers to the creatures who attack humans and tiny gray creatures in the woods. Here are the most disturbing encounters caught on cameras.
This way.
A giant. It looks like a giant with a sharp weapon or something in his hand, walking as if it's finding prey to kill and eat. But wait, giants aren't real, right? Or maybe they are. Maybe we just don't know much about them. With so many weird things happening, anything can be possible. A weird deer. While a man was busy recording a deer who appeared to be scared of him at first, but then suddenly stopped, as if it was scared of something, and then turned back and went hopping away beside the man. He was all confused, just like anyone would be. But then he saw something that scared him too. A deer emerged from the bushes with a deformed neck. Or was it a skinwalker? Because that's what most people said. A creature attack. Some friends were out having a bonfire and enjoying the night when they started hearing weird noises coming from the woods. One of them decided to be brave and go and check, while others were there recording him. And this is when this happened. Even though they immediately ran to save their friend, we have no idea what happened afterwards as the video abruptly ended. A pair of glowing eyes. What will you do if there is a scary noise coming out of your roof? Will you go check it out like this man did? And there he ended up seeing a creature on the roof with its eyes glowing like some kind of demon. Or was it really the demon? No one could tell as the creature disappeared, leaving the man too shocked and scared to do anything. I hope he left the country the next day because the creature looked like it might love to follow him around. A gray man. There was a place where locals kept seeing strange things and weird creatures in the woods, but no one believed them until they hid themselves there with cameras and recorded this little gray man going about his usual life in the woods. It stood there for a few seconds until it sensed humans nearby and went away from where it came from, leaving us with hundreds of questions but no one to get answers from. A dwarf. This happened in a small town in Mexico. Let me tell you, the town is famous for its unusual happenings. In this video, we see a man first playing with his dog, and then he moved the camera to a little girl who was just going about her business. And that is when a tiny creature appeared on the screen, making the girl scream in fear and run away. And that's where the video ended. A witch. Unlike most of the videos in today's list, this one was recorded in a home where three guys were talking while lightly playing with a ball. And that is when a short black witch-like thing appeared out of nowhere and went past them in a hurry, which scared the boys quite a lot. When it was uploaded on the internet, some said it was definitely a witch, while others couldn't help but think it was a fake video.
Alligator bites fisherman. It was a calm evening along the Florida coast, the kind that made for an easy night of fishing. A man stood near the shoreline in the water, nothing unusual happening. Then an alligator surged out of the water and clamped down on his hand. His arm was locked inside its jaws as he tried to pry it open. The alligator did not let go. He was rushed to the hospital moments later, his arm still marked by the bite. Zipline crocodile attack. A young girl was gliding across a zipline tour above a shallow tropical river, helmet on, harness secure. The water below looked calm and empty. Then a crocodile shot straight up out of the river, jaws open, reaching toward her mid-flight. It came close enough to nearly touch her before crashing back into the water. She survived without injury, but she has not stepped on a zipline since. Skeleton creature. A group of friends were hiking through the forest when something moved between the trees. At first, they thought it was another hiker. Then it stepped out of the bushes. Its legs and arms were too long, its frame too thin, almost skeletal beneath the skin. It began moving toward them, slow and deliberate. The group kept filming, too stunned to run, as the figure closed the distance between them. Forest creature. Deep in a remote forest, something large was spotted standing between the trees. Its body looked soaked through, covered in a dark, furry layer that clung to its frame. Its arms and legs stretched unnaturally long, and its head sat low and bushy, like a starved animal pulled and stretched beyond shape. It did not run. It did not flinch. It simply stood there, watching, until it turned and disappeared back into the trees. Creature rises from pool. At 7 a.m. in Salzburg, Austria, a construction crew noticed something that had not been there the day before. A shallow pool of water had formed overnight in the middle of the site. Then something rose out of it. A worker named Lucas began recording. The creature's body looked rubbery and rounded, its eyes bulging and fixed in opposite directions, its mouth empty of teeth as its head tilted slowly to one side. The birds went silent, the machine stopped, and for a moment, no one on site knew what to do. Ground Swallow's car. In Florida, a man stepped out to start his car before work, just after 7 a.m. He opened the door, grabbed his phone, and everything looked completely normal. Then the ground beneath the car collapsed. Within seconds, the car was pulled down into the drainage system below, swallowed by the failing infrastructure. His front security camera caught the entire thing. The car, worth thousands, was gone before he could react. Human snake creature. At 3:52 p.m. along the Sabine River in eastern Texas, a fisherman reported something crawling onto the muddy shore. Rangers assumed it was an injured alligator. When they arrived, it was something else. The creature had a human torso attached to a massive serpentine, L. It moved slowly and stared toward the water, ignoring everyone around it. A teenager began filming from the bushes, cell signals dropped, and several people nearby reported hearing whispers beneath the river. Then, without warning, the creature submerged. No splash, it simply vanished. The recovered footage showed only static, and beneath it, a single faint sentence repeating over and over. Woman hides in dumpster. In an isolated town, a woman walked toward the dumpster to throw out her trash. As soon as she lifted the lid, she heard a roar tearing through the forest behind her. A lion was already running straight for her. She dropped her trash and threw herself into the dumpster instead. Slamming the lid shut behind her, the lion reached the bin only seconds later, leaping onto it as she stayed hidden inside. PIG, like creature. Near Boston Road in Louisiana, a fisherman stopped along a muddy riverbank after noticing strange movement in the water. Something was half buried in the mud, eyes scanning, alert rather than afraid. Below the chest, its body turned thick and elongated, more hog than human. The fisherman started filming. Later, one detail stood out. The water behind it had gone completely still. He never went back to that spot again. Creature attacked by dog. It was midnight when a home security camera picked up movement near the front yard. A tall, strange figure was lingering close to the house, its nose long, its torso and limbs stretched thin with almost no visible muscle except around its stomach. Then the family's guard dog spotted it and lunged, biting straight at its face. The dog could not get a grip. There was barely anything to hold onto. The creature turned and ran, the dog chasing close behind until both disappeared out of the frame.
Farm security camera picked up something standing outside the house in the dead of night that nobody inside had heard approaching. Caught in night vision green, long dark hair hanging loose, pale-skinned, thin, moving toward the camera with an unnatural stillness that made every single person who watched this footage deeply uncomfortable. The farmers came out to investigate, 3 of them, hats on, moving together like men who had dealt with trouble before. And what followed was a struggle that took all 3 of them to contain. Whatever was wandering around that property in the dark that night, it took 3 grown men to bring it to the ground, and not one of them looked like they felt good about what they were holding down. A farm security camera picked up something standing in the middle of the yard in the dead of night that stopped everyone who reviewed the footage cold. Small, dark, standing completely upright on 2 legs in, a way that no known farm animal stands, with 2 pinpoints of light where its eyes caught the camera, just watching, not moving, not running, just standing there in the darkness, staring directly into the lens, like it had been there for a while, and had absolutely no intention of leaving. Then the camera feed began to glitch, distorting, breaking up, lines tearing across the screen in every direction. And when it stabilized again, The yard was empty. Whatever that thing was, it didn't walk away. It was simply there, and then it wasn't. A trail camera at Yellowstone National Park captured something in the frozen darkness that nobody expected to see. A porcupine, covered head to toe in razor-sharp quills that can embed themselves through skin and muscle, was attacking another animal aggressively in the dead of night when the dog appeared out of nowhere. No hesitation, no fear. It charged straight in, bit down on that porcupine, and dragged it away with quills driving into its own face and body with every single movement. The two rolled across the ground in a blur of fur and spines, the dog absorbing damage that would make most animals retreat instantly. It didn't retreat, not once. When it was finally over, the dog stood up, shook itself off, and walked away. Some things out there fight not because they have to, but because walking away was never an option. A doorbell camera in Los Angeles captured something walking up the front path in the dead of night that made everyone who reviewed this footage stop and rewind it immediately. Low to the ground, gray-skinned, moving on all fours with a hunched spine and a face full of jagged teeth that caught the light in a way that made your skin crawl. It was a chupacabra, and it wasn't alone for long. A cheetah came charging out of the darkness and hit it at full speed, sending both animals into a violent rolling blur right there on the front porch. The fight was fast, brutal, and completely unexplainable. Because neither of those animals should exist within 1,000 miles of each other, let alone on someone's doorstep in Los Angeles at midnight. The porch was empty when the camera checked again. Both of them completely gone. A night vision camera inside a farm enclosure at Yellowstone captured something that had already made its way past the fence and was moving through the animals in the dark. Low, fast, with a skull-like face and jaws that dropped open wide enough to wrap around an entire animal's neck in one move. The livestock pressed against the far wall, completely frozen, while this thing moved between them with the patience of something that had done this many times before, and had absolutely no fear of being seen. The farmer reviewed the footage the next morning after finding the enclosure in disarray. What he saw on that camera was so far outside anything he could explain that he posted it without even adding a caption. Sometimes the footage speaks for itself. A farmer walking the edge of his cornfield stopped dead when he spotted something moving between the stalks that had absolutely no business being there. Small, dark, hunched over on all fours with long, thin limbs, and a body so emaciated it looked like skin pulled tight over a skeleton. Crouching in the dirt between the rows like it had been living in those crops for a very long time. It moved with sharp, twitchy little bursts, pausing every few seconds like it was listening for something.
Lleva días viniendo. Yo sabía que algo raro estaba pasando en el cultivo.
Completely aware of its surroundings in a way that felt disturbingly intelligent. Farmers across 3 different countries have reported finding their crops stripped overnight with no animal tracks left behind, no footprints, no evidence, just missing harvests and a feeling that something was watching from inside the field. Now there's footage, and it's every bit as unsettling as the stories always were. Camera 03, barnyard, 1:13 a.m. Something that had no business being on any farm was already inside the fence. Tall, impossibly thin, moving on legs that bent in entirely the wrong direction, with 2 white eyes that caught the night vision light and glowed straight back at the camera like it knew exactly where to look. It moved through the livestock with a slow, deliberate confidence, bending its elongated body down toward the animals, then straightening back up, then crouching again at a road outside a fence where it cornered something small and completely defenseless. By 1:55 a.m., the barnyard was empty and quiet again. The farmer checked the footage in the morning. 3 animals were unaccounted for, and whatever took them left no tracks, no blood, and no explanation. Just 11 minutes of the most unsettling security footage ever captured on a farm.
Frozen in the ice. Somewhere far north, in a place buried under endless snow, a camera recorded something that should not be possible. A vast wall of solid ice, clear and flat, and frozen deep inside it, a full-grown shark, suspended in the middle of the ice as though it had been caught mid-swim and locked in place. Its mouth hangs open. It has been dead a long time. A shark, sealed inside a frozen mass far from any open water, with no natural way to account for how it ended up trapped in the middle of all that ice. Worth thinking. The forest golem. Deep in a forest, a creature gave away its position when it failed to stay hidden behind a tree. It looked like a golem, small, strange, unlike anything documented before, and it clearly did not want to be seen. It froze, trying to fold itself back into the trees. Then, its behavior shifted. It seemed to grow aware of the person watching it. It made a low, broken sound, as if it were attempting to communicate. The people who later studied the clip put a name to it: a wood imp. In old accounts, these small, human-like things are described as cruel and best avoided. This one showed no sign of retreating. The bat attack. In a dense jungle in Southeast Asia, a group of soldiers were caught in something they were not prepared for. The footage shows them in camouflage, one with a Thai flag on his sleeve, deep in the trees. Latched onto one man's upper body is a massive bat, gripping him and refusing to release. His comrades take hold of his legs and pull, trying to drag him free while the creature holds on. Fruit bats of that size are native to those rainforests, but they do not attack people, and they do not latch on like this. That contradiction is why the footage has never been fully explained. The ring-horned cow. Scientists recently documented a case that unsettled even them. A cow, ordinary in every other respect, with horns that had grown in the wrong direction. Instead of curving outward, they had fused together above its head, forming an almost perfect ring. A clean, closed circle of bone sitting on the animal as though it had been shaped deliberately. Cases like this are rare enough that almost no record of them exists, and there is no clear biological reason for the horns to have grown into a sealed ring at all. The alpaca at the window. A man filming from inside his car recorded something strange unfolding at the truck in front of him. From a white truck, a long neck extended outward, an alpaca reaching down towards some berries resting nearby. When the man sounded his horn, the animal's head turned sharply toward him. It began to vocalize, a long, aggressive cry aimed directly at the car, its mouth open wide, its attention fixed entirely on him. This was actually strange. Are alpacas like humans? The snake that fought back. On a stretch of rural farmland, a man became locked in a confrontation with a snake that refused to retreat. He struck at it repeatedly, trying to drive it away. Each time, it returned the same way, rising up, holding its ground, refusing to give the distance back. What happened next couldn't be captured. The snake bit him so deeply that despite being rushed directly to the hospital, he died on its way. Attacked on the cliff. A vlogger was filming himself cycling along a narrow mountain track, a thin path cut high into the snow with a sheer drop on one side. Then, a snow leopard emerged without warning. It lunged and closed its jaws around his handlebar, locking on and trying to pull him and the bike off the path. He fought back the only way he could, twisting the handle hard and repeatedly until he tore it free of the animal's grip. The struggle carried him over the edge. He fell from a dangerous height, saved only by the deep snow below. He survived and was rushed to hospital. Leak from Area 51. For decades, Area 51 has sat at the center of the world's most persistent conspiracy theories: alien bodies, secret experiments. This footage claims to show one of those secrets surfacing, an alleged extraterrestrial encounter tied to the base. But no one can agree on what it actually is: a genuine leak, a film prop, or another story the internet assembled out of very little. After all these years, no public evidence has ever confirmed alien bodies at Area 51. And still, the mystery holds the attention of millions who cannot quite let it go.
Like something that shouldn't exist at all. A farm security camera picked up something standing outside the house in the dead of night that nobody inside had heard approaching, caught in night vision green. Long, dark hair hanging loose, pale-skinned, thin, moving toward the camera with an unnatural stillness that made every single person who watched this footage deeply uncomfortable. The farmers came out to investigate, 3 of them, hats on, moving together like men who had dealt with trouble before. And what followed was a struggle that took all 3 of them to contain. Whatever was wandering around that property in the dark that night, it took 3 grown men to bring it to the ground, and not one of them looked like they felt good about what they were holding down. A farm security camera picked up something standing in the middle of the yard in the dead of night that stopped everyone who reviewed the footage cold. Small, dark, standing completely upright on 2 legs in a way that no known farm animal stands, with 2 pinpoints of light where its eyes caught the camera, just watching. Not moving, not running, just standing there in the darkness, staring directly into the lens, like it had been there for a while, and had absolutely no intention of leaving. Then the camera feed began to glitch, distorting, breaking up, lines tearing across the screen in every direction. And when it stabilized again, the yard was empty. Whatever that thing was, it didn't walk away. It was simply there, and then it wasn't. A trail camera at Yellowstone National Park captured something in the frozen darkness that nobody expected to see. A porcupine, covered head to toe in razor-sharp quills that can embed themselves through skin and muscle, was attacking another animal aggressively in the dead of night when the dog appeared out of nowhere. No hesitation, no fear. It charged straight in, bit down on that porcupine, and dragged it away with quills driving into its own face and body with every single movement. The 2 rolled across the ground in a blur of fur and spines, the dog absorbing damage that would make most animals retreat instantly. It didn't retreat, not once. When it was finally over, the dog stood up, shook itself off, and walked away. Some things out there fight not because they have to, but because walking away was never an option. A doorbell camera in Los Angeles captured something walking up the front path in the dead of night that made everyone who reviewed this footage stop and rewind it immediately. Low to the ground, gray-skinned, moving on all 4s with a hunched spine and a face full of jagged teeth that caught the light in a way that made your skin crawl. It was a chupacabra, and it wasn't alone for long. A cheetah came charging out of the darkness and hit it at full speed, sending both animals into a violent rolling blur right there on the front porch. The fight was fast, brutal, and completely unexplainable. Because neither of those animals should exist within 1,000 miles of each other, let alone on someone's doorstep in Los Angeles at midnight. The porch was empty when the camera checked again, both of them completely gone. A night vision camera inside a farm enclosure at Yellowstone captured something that had already made its way past the fence and was moving through the animals in the dark. Low, fast, with a skull-like face and jaws that dropped open wide enough to wrap around an entire animal's neck in one move. The livestock pressed against the far wall, completely frozen, while this thing moved between them with the patience of something that had done this many times before, and had absolutely no fear of being seen. The farmer reviewed the footage the next morning after finding the enclosure in disarray. What he saw on that camera was so far outside anything he could explain that he posted it without even adding a caption. Sometimes the footage speaks for itself. A farmer walking the edge of his cornfield stopped dead when he spotted something moving between the stalks that had absolutely no business being there. Small, dark, hunched over on all fours with long, thin limbs, and a body so emaciated it looked like skin pulled tight over a skeleton. Crouching in the dirt between the rows like it had been living in those crops for a very long time. It moved with sharp, twitchy little bursts, pausing every few seconds like it was listening for something.
Lleva días viniendo, yo sabía que algo raro estaba pasando en el cultivo.
Completely aware of its surroundings in a way that felt disturbingly intelligent. Farmers across 3 different countries have reported finding their crops stripped overnight with no animal tracks left behind, no footprints, no evidence, just missing harvests and a feeling that something was watching from inside the field. Now there's footage, and it's every bit as unsettling as the stories always were. Camera 03, barnyard, 1:13 a.m. Something that had no business being on any farm was already inside the fence. Tall, impossibly thin, moving on legs that bent in entirely the wrong direction, with 2 white eyes that caught the night vision light and glowed straight back at the camera like it knew exactly where to look. It moved through the livestock with a slow, deliberate confidence, bending its elongated body down toward the animals, then straightening back up, then crouching again at a road outside a fence where it cornered something small and completely defenseless. By 1:55 a.m., the barnyard was empty and quiet again. The farmer checked the footage in the morning. 3 animals were unaccounted for, and whatever took them left no tracks, no blood, and no explanation. Just 11 minutes of the most unsettling security footage ever captured on a farm. Inside the quiet farmland, a man stood frozen near a tube well, where something unusual was unfolding in the shadows.
¿Qué es eso?
2 strange, long-tailed creatures were seen moving aggressively inside the structure. The scene didn't feel natural, more like a disruption of balance in a place meant for stillness. Dust, sudden movement, and frantic reactions from the man as he watched, unable to fully process what he was witnessing in front of him. What started as an ordinary day on the farm ended with something no one could properly explain, and even after it was gone, the silence it left behind felt heavier than before. If these moments had you gripped to your screen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more.
People are encountering disgusting creatures that just shouldn't even exist. What they found wasn't just one terrifying creature. It was a series of encounters that left everyone questioning reality. And what was captured next would leave everyone stunned. Here, a spirit drops from the tree and transforms into a horrifying wolf. Three towering griffins stand together, gripping glowing tridents, their wings spread wide under a dark sky. At the center, one larger griffin rises above the rest, crowned in gold and staring forward like a powerful king commanding his fierce and loyal army.
Wow.
A mystical unicorn stands in the jungle, shimmering feathers glowing softly. A bear-like paranormal creature appears at night, captured chillingly on camera. Under the night sky, a wolf attacks a group of sheep in a shed, but its head gets stuck in the doorway as a brave dog barks fiercely, trying to stop it. CCTV captures a mysterious skinwalker in rural Appalachia, West Virginia, approaching a chicken at night before stumbling strangely, fueling fear and curiosity about legendary shape-shifting folklore. A massive gorilla emerges carrying a deer, caught on camera from a car, before suddenly being struck by an oncoming vehicle in a shocking roadside moment.
Oh my God! No! No! It's coming down! Go! Drive! Oh my God, it's right there! Jesus, just keep going!
A creepy monster politely lurks, silently judging your gardening skills. During a peaceful winter drive in Michigan, a couple's GoPro captures two alleged dogman creatures near the Eerie Paulding Light, turning a snowy back road into daylight terror. In the dark of night, a ghost attacks sheep inside a shed, but gets stuck in the doorway as a brave dog barks fiercely, trying to protect the terrified flock. Late at night, strange voices echo from outside a small rural home.
Well, she just woke me up again and said she heard it on the roof, and this time so did I, so...
Breaking the silence and sending chills through the air. Confused and concerned, a man grabs his torch and camera, determined to find the source of the disturbing sounds. As he slowly steps into the darkness, the beam of his flashlight scans across the yard, trees, and the nearby shed.
You can get out there and have a look.
The whispers grow louder, almost distorted, making his heart pound faster with every step. Suddenly, his light lands on the roof of a nearby hut. There, crouched unnaturally, is a bizarre, frantic-looking creature with glowing eyes and twisted limbs.
Okay. Get the other side.
The man quickly raises his camera, capturing the shocking moment as the creature lets out an eerie sound, forever sealing the terrifying encounter on film.
Oh, damn. Holy shit. All right. Son of a bitch is one on the other side of the house. Oh.
Guy versus C. A winged horse, pale and massive, is being pulled toward the water, and it refuses to go. Below it, in the surf, mermaid-like figures with long tails are dragging at it, trying to pull it under. The horse fights back the only way it can. It chooses the sky. The horse beating upward, the figures clinging from below, neither one letting go. Not every creature belongs in the water, especially one with wings. Something in the surf. It starts as a normal day at the shore. Surf, sand, people standing around. Then, something moves in the shallow water that shouldn't be there. At first, the people on the beach think it's a mermaid. Then, it thrashes into view, and nobody is sure anymore. It moves low through the water like an alligator, but there's something human in the way it shifts its weight, something that doesn't fit a reptile at all. The waves keep half covering it. Nobody gets close. The onlookers just point and call out, trying to make each other see it too. Then it pulls back into the deeper water. 8 fingers. U.S. police responding to a call in a remote area found something on the ground that stopped every officer there. A huge creature, sitting hunched and still, head down, giant hands, a gigantic body, and one wing that looked like it had been torn away, as if the thing had fallen from somewhere high and couldn't get back up. When they looked closer, 8 fingers on each hand, 8 on each foot. It just sat there, head lowered, looking almost disappointed, like it knew exactly where it had ended up, and there was no way back. The thing on the highway. Late at night on a lonely road in Alberta, a driver spotted something massive walking ahead in the middle of the highway. At first, they thought it was a person. Then, the headlights got closer, and it was far too big to be one. It was covered in thick brown fur and walked slowly, upright, on 2 legs. They never saw its face, only its back, the entire time. For almost 30 seconds, they followed it down the empty road in complete silence. Then, it stepped off the highway and disappeared into the dark forest without a sound. The False Shepherd. The locals have a name for it. They call it the False Shepherd. They say it wears masks made of bone, and it uses them to copy the sounds of dying animals, crying, struggling, to lure people out of their cabins into the dark. For as long as anyone remembers, it has waited outside. But tonight, it stopped waiting. The footage catches it at the glass. Bone mask turned toward the camera, looking directly into a woman's room. It didn't call out this time. It didn't try to draw her outside. It just decided to come closer and look in for itself. The young one.
Man, look at the tail. That's no human.
It started as a normal deep-sea exploration. Routine footage, nothing unusual, until the camera caught this. A figure swimming just below the surface, human shape, fishtail, and a way of moving that looks far too real to be an accident. It looked young, like a mermaid that was still growing up. The features were soft, and the way it moved, it seemed almost naive, a little scared of the camera watching it. Viewers still can't agree on what they're looking at. Some say CGI, some say AI, and some think it's something the ocean has been hiding all along. A bunch of ordinary people were filming ordinary moments when suddenly it turned into one of the most controversial footage ever uploaded to the internet. Because somewhere in the background of these clips, something with wings was watching right back. Somewhere in Texas, a farmer's security camera captured something that has since spread across every paranormal research forum on the internet, and nobody has been able to offer a single rational explanation. At the edge of his property, bathed in light that had absolutely no business existing in the middle of a pitch-black field, stood a figure with enormous white wings, glowing from within, like something that doesn't belong to this world at all. What makes this footage different from everything else out there is what happens next. It walks toward him, wraps its arms around him slowly, deliberately, and in the exact moment of that embrace, the man is simply gone. Just gone. While filming the evening sky from a quiet neighborhood, someone caught something dropping out at full speed. Dark, winged, human-shaped, plummeting toward the dry fields below. Dark, winged, and human-shaped, dropping out of the sky like something that had been thrown from it. Then came the impact, a crater of dust and earth that shook the ground on camera. When people reached the site and looked down into that hole in the sand, it was lying there. Wings the color of midnight, stretched wide, feathers scattered everywhere, completely motionless at the center. No aircraft reported missing, no weather event that could explain it. No animal on this planet has wings that size combined with a human body. What fell out of that sky that evening had never been classified by science. And whatever it is, it was still breathing when they found it. The sky did something that stopped everyone cold. Mid-conversation, mid-step, mid-breath, every single person underneath it just froze, because moving through that burning amber sunset was a winged figure, human-shaped, arms wide open, gliding silently with a wingspan that nothing on this earth grows. No flapping, no effort, just carried through the clouds like it had a destination nobody down there could see. Then the light broke through, and for one brief second, it was fully visible, and then it was gone. Not descending, not landing anywhere, just taken back by the sky like it was never meant to come this close to begin with. Whatever passed over that crowd that evening, it left every single one of them permanently changed, and every single one of them was still shaking when the camera stopped on June 13th in Houston, Texas. A busy highway, hundreds of cars, an ordinary evening commute, and then something above the freeway made people grab their phones mid-drive. Glowing white, wings fully spread, moving through the clouds above one of the most populated cities in America, as if it had absolutely nothing to hide. Not one sighting, not two. Multiple people across different parts of the city captured it from completely different angles, all on the same night, all within the same hour. Researchers who have studied the footage since cannot agree on what it is, but they all agree on one thing. Whatever was flying over Houston that evening was not from here.
No way. You see that?
Hundreds of people were already gathered, phones raised, necks craned upward, because right above them, carved into the clouds like something had reached down and shaped them by hand, was a figure with wings spread wide across the entire sky. Not a passing shape. Not a trick of light that lasted 2 seconds and disappeared. This thing held, it stayed, long enough for an entire crowd to stand underneath it in complete silence, long enough for every single person there to get it on camera, long enough that nobody could walk away and convince themselves they hadn't seen it. Meteorologists have no category for what those clouds formed that day, and the crowd that witnessed it never fully dispersed. Some of them are still talking about it.
Ground yet, but you can barely make it out. It's right there, right to the left.
It started as a regular dash cam recording on a completely empty highway, dark sky, storm clouds rolling in, nothing unusual about any of it. Then the driver noticed it, sitting perfectly still on the hillside directly ahead, a figure with arms stretched wide, a blinding white orb of light where its head should be, glowing with an intensity that had absolutely no natural source. Too large to be a person, too structured to be anything atmospheric, and completely motionless while the storm rolled in around it from every direction. No flickering, no movement, just standing there above that road in the dark like it had been placed there specifically to be seen. The driver kept recording and kept driving closer toward it, and the closer the car got, the brighter that light burned. Air in the headlights. A man was riding his bike home through a forest at night when something stepped into the road in front of him. A huge, heavy bear, right in his path. His front light caught it head on in the dark. The bear rose up onto its hind legs and turned to look straight at him. Then the footage ends. We never find out what happened next. Deer at night.
What is that?
Deep in the Pacific Northwest, a vlogger swept a flashlight across the trees, and something massive was already watching back. It stood in the middle of the forest, frozen in the beam, tall, with the build of something far heavier than a man, and a strange deer out there. Whatever it was, it didn't want to be found, and the second the light moved off it, it was gone. Alien caught. A backyard CCTV camera in a rural town caught something nobody could explain. In the footage, an alien-like creature moves up to a cow standing in the yard and slowly reaches out to touch it. It's calm. Then a hen wanders too close and the thing bolts. It takes off like a fireball. But here's the part that stops everyone who watches it. As it runs, it doesn't go around the fence. It goes straight through it, passing clean through the closed barrier, like it was never solid at all. Once you see it up close, it's hard to forget. The bone mask in the trees. Deep in a forest, the camera finds something standing among the trees that doesn't match anything caught before. It wears a mask made of bone over its face, and as it moves, it begins to climb, pulling itself up into a tree with a slow, deliberate ease. The strange part is the fur on its body. From a distance, it looks like an animal. Up close, the fur is worn and patchy, hanging wrong, like it isn't really growing there at all, like it was put on. Then it reaches the higher branches, and the footage cuts before it gets any closer. The thing on the shore. A couple filming from the top of a mountain caught something moving on the shoreline far below. At first, it was hard to make out. Then it came into focus a huge, fat, leech-like creature rolling along the sand at the water's edge. Its skin was jelly-like, soft and shifting with every movement. It had no real face, nothing to fix your eyes on. It simply flipped and rolled across the shore, dragging itself with a tail far thinner than the bloated mass of its body. White unicorn. It looked like an ordinary white horse caught on camera one afternoon, calm, standing still. Nothing about it seemed unusual at all. Then, the camera zoomed in. Rising from the center of its head was a single horn, a unicorn, the one creature everyone had written off as a myth, standing right there in plain daylight. We were all taught unicorns went extinct, or never existed in the first place. This footage quietly rewrote that. The Man and the Dragon. The camera shakes the moment it catches what it's pointing at. A colossal, primitive-looking giant of a man. And in front of him, on the ground, a massive dragon. Dark scales, wings fully spread across a mountain plain in Dagestan, where it had come down. A thick, heavy rope is wrapped around its neck and body. The mountain man is wrestling the thing as it thrashes against the rope, his whole weight thrown into keeping it down. Doorway snake. This footage started circulating online fast. A giant snake crept toward her open door while she stood inside, unaware until she saw it. She screamed and ran, but the door stayed open. By morning, both were gone, and the house looked untouched, as if nothing had ever happened. Something behind it. You'll want to watch this closely because something in this footage doesn't add up. A car races down a quiet street, but when you slow it down, something is right behind it, keeping up effortlessly. It doesn't look human or even natural. So what exactly was chasing that car that night? She just vanished. A single scream broke the silence that night. Curious, a man checked CCTV the next day and saw a woman walking alone before collapsing. What happened next didn't make sense. A dog emerged and ran off, while she vanished without a trace. No one ever saw her again, and some say this is exactly how skinwalker encounters begin. Dragged at 4 a.m. What happened in this bedroom at 4 a.m. doesn't make sense. She went to bed at 1 a.m., but hours later, the wardrobe door opened by itself. A shadow-like figure came out, pulled her blankets, then dragged her off the bed and into the room. Her boyfriend found her there, but she doesn't remember anything. The empty bed. This video has been circulating with one detail everyone misses. Watch the second table. At first, it's still lifeless. Then, slowly, something beneath the sheet begins to sit upright. The doctor notices and instantly collapses, trying to get away. But according to staff records, that bed hadn't been used in days. So if no one was placed there, what needed to get up? It chose to move. This video has one detail people can't explain. Watch the wheelchair carefully. It doesn't just move, it chooses a direction, rolling out into the open, then stopping with perfect timing. The guard who filmed this says it was across the hall minutes before, so if no one touched it, what decided where it needed to be?
See, I... No.
Not a prop. This footage changed everything for the owner. The last employee is cleaning up, unaware of what's behind her. A figure stands still until it doesn't. Its head slowly shifts, locking onto her. The moment she sees it, she runs for the exit. She resigned the next morning. So how many of those props were ever real? It wanted attention. You can feel it building in this footage. Quiet disturbances, almost playful, like something trying to get noticed. But when she doesn't respond, it escalates. And by the end, it's not asking for attention anymore. Grabbed in passing. This looks like harmless fun. Two kids running downstairs, laughing. Then the corner hits. One of them gets grabbed by something you barely see. Not fully there, just a shadow. They fight it off and run. It doesn't chase, it waits. She saw something. This video has one moment people can't explain. The plant falls without warning. She turns, expecting nothing, but what she sees stops her cold. Watch her reaction carefully. It's instant, instinctive, like she recognized something she shouldn't. She runs upstairs and never looks back. So, if nothing was there, what made her react like that? Dragged while awake. This footage was captured during a routine night shift, when nothing should be happening. The guard falls asleep, slumped in his chair. Then suddenly, his leg jerks. Not a twitch, a pull. He's dragged across the floor, fully conscious, unable to stop it. It only lets go in the corner. That's the spot employees say always felt wrong. Right behind her. At first, she looks alone on that road. Then, look closer. Something is behind her. Not running, not rushing, just following. Its movement feels off. Too smooth, too deliberate, like it knows she hasn't noticed yet. The moving ball. This video looks harmless at first, just someone resting on a pool table. Then the white ball behind his head starts moving, slowly, no cue, no touch. It rolls forward and taps him. He brushes it off, then it moves again. That's when he runs. Elevator encounter. At first, it's just a malfunctioning elevator. Doors open, refuse to shut. But watch her closely. She starts reacting to something outside the frame. Hiding, peeking, stepping out. She was later found in the rooftop tank. Some believe the encounter started right there. It appeared first. This CCTV clip was reviewed frame by frame, and something appears before impact. A faint black mist forms near the doorway. Seconds later, she's violently shoved forward. No one behind her. Researchers say the shape manifests first, then acts. So what do you think? Random coincidence, or something we're not meant to understand?
High above the city, something unbelievable appears in the sky. Human-like figures glide through the air, moving just like birds. For a moment, everything feels unreal. Then suddenly, police spot the strange sight and open fire, trying to stop whatever's flying above them. The figures scatter across the sky, leaving witnesses shocked and confused, wondering what they actually just saw. Was it a trick? Or something humans were never meant to witness? Have you ever seen a forest breathe? It sounds impossible, but it's a real and fascinating sight. After heavy rain, the soil on the forest floor becomes loose and soft. When strong winds sweep through the tall trees, their massive trunks sway back and forth. Because the ground is softened by water, the trees' roots begin to shift and lift the soil beneath them. From a distance, the forest floor appears to rise and fall, almost as if the land itself were breathing. It's not magic or a hidden creature underground, just the powerful combination of rain, wind, and nature working together in a strange and mesmerizing way. A strange snake-like structure slowly moves toward a hole in the wall. Its long, flexible body twists and slithers in an eerie way, making it hard to tell if it's a real snake or something else entirely. The movement looks unnatural and unsettling, as if the creature is quietly disappearing into the darkness. Moments like this make people pause and wonder what they just witnessed, because sometimes reality can look far more mysterious than fiction. An enormous arthropleura, a prehistoric millipede-like creature, slowly rolls across the ground. This giant arthropod could grow up to 8 feet long, making it one of the largest invertebrates to ever exist on Earth. Its long, segmented body and many legs create a strange, almost alien sight as it moves. Watching something this massive crawl along the ground feels unreal, like a glimpse into a forgotten prehistoric world where creatures grew to unimaginable sizes and ruled ancient forests. Something unusual appears in the middle of the river, and at first glance, it looks like a dinosaur. A large shape moves slowly through the water, creating ripples as it goes. Its long body and strange outline make people question what they are actually seeing. Is it a prehistoric-looking animal, a large reptile, or simply an illusion caused by the water and shadows? Moments like this spark curiosity and mystery, leaving viewers wondering if they just witnessed something truly unbelievable. The famous glitter sand beach on Hormuz Island looks almost magical. As waves move across the shore, tiny mineral particles in the sand reflect sunlight, making the beach sparkle like glitter. The effect becomes even more stunning during sunrise and sunset. This unique shine comes from metal-rich compounds and minerals mixed within the sand. The island is often called the Rainbow Island because it contains more than 70 colorful minerals that create extraordinary natural landscapes. A rare and shocking event occurred when a goat was born with only one eye in the center of its face. This unusual condition, known as cyclopia, is an extremely rare birth defect that affects the development of the brain and skull. The baby goat's single eye made it look very different from normal animals, surprising everyone who saw it. Such cases happen when the embryo's brain fails to divide properly during early development. Although frightening to witness, it is a natural but very rare biological condition that has been documented in both animals and humans throughout history. Sinkholes are natural geological formations that appear when the ground suddenly collapses, creating a deep hole or depression on the surface. They usually form in areas where soluble rocks like limestone, gypsum, or salt exist beneath the soil. Over many years, water slowly dissolves these rocks, creating hidden underground spaces. As these cavities grow larger, the surface above them becomes weaker. Eventually, the ground can no longer support its own weight and suddenly falls in, forming a sinkhole that can vary.
It started as turbulence beneath the hull, the kind the strait throws at you without warning, but this felt different, deeper, more deliberate, like something enormous was deciding whether to surface. Then it did. Dark scaled skin breaking through the white water alongside the ship, a head emerging that belonged to nothing living in any ocean today. Broad, heavily armored, yellow eyes burning through the spray, and a jaw dropping open to reveal rows of thick, jagged teeth as it rose fully out of the deep and slammed into the side of the vessel. The roar that came with it rolled across the water like a shockwave. The strait had been hiding something beneath its surface for a very long time, and whatever it was, it had finally decided to come up, and the crew had nowhere to go. Sailors have feared the Strait of Hormuz for centuries. Now they have footage proving why. A fully loaded cargo vessel was midway through the strait when the ocean beneath it simply erupted. A creature of impossible scale, black, ancient, covered in armored scales, breached directly over the ship, its body curving overhead like a living mountain. The deck crumpled. Containers were hurled into the sea. Crew held onto railings as the shockwave hit. It hung above them for 3 terrifying seconds before plunging back into the deep. Of the 22 crew members aboard, only 17 could be accounted for when rescuers arrived.
Oh my God!
The strait had not finished. That same night, at a nearby dock, something pulled itself out of the black water without any warning. Gray-skinned, wide, flat face, hollow eyes, it hauled its coiled body onto the wooden planks and simply started crawling forward. No hesitation, no fear. People standing just feet away froze completely. It moved toward them with slow, deliberate confidence, as if docks and humans were nothing new to it, as if it had done this before, many times before. It stopped, looked directly into the camera, then turned and slipped back into the water as silently as it had arrived. The nets came up with something that should have died the moment it left the water. Instead, it thrashed, breathed, and within seconds had wrapped every tentacle around the fisherman's face in a grip that took 4 hands to eventually break. It squeezed, it inked black liquid flooding his airways as he fought to pry it loose, blood already visible on his shirt from where the suckers had torn skin. Nearly a full minute passed before it finally released and was thrown back into the sea. It hit the water and immediately descended without floating, without slowing, something that cannot drown, cannot be suffocated, and fights like it knows exactly what it is doing.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Safari workers filming from their vehicle watched it happen in real time and could do nothing. 1 second, she was at the water's edge. The next, a crocodile had her legs locked in its jaws and was dragging her into the shallows with mechanical, merciless force. Her elephant reacted before any human could. Tusks wrapped around her torso, pulling back with every pound of its enormous weight in the opposite direction. The camera cuts. Those who were there say the elephant won, but the crocodile did not leave without taking something permanent. She survived. She will never walk again.
¿Qué estarán jalando esas brujas allá abajo?
Parece una lechuza grandota, pero fíjate la cara.
No one in the region believed the tribe when they announced they had caught it. Then the footage surfaced. Robed figures gathered in a desert, clearing around a chained, winged creature. Iron links wrapped thick across its body, staffs and ropes holding it to the ground. It had looked captured. It had looked contained for exactly 4 minutes. Then every chain snapped simultaneously. The creature unfolded wings wider than the clearing itself, rose vertically into the blue sky with one single beat, and locked eyes with the camera for just a moment before ascending beyond the tree line. Some things, they decided, were never meant to be held. If you were in that situation, what would you have done? Look again. There's more than meets the eye. Some encounters stay with you forever.
Document the wilderness for views. And then there are people who stumble onto something that makes every previous upload feel completely irrelevant. Jake Harmon and Chris Vidal are 2 outdoor adventure vloggers from Colorado. Mid-30s, seasoned trekkers, the kind of men who have camped in places most people would not locate on a map. They run a channel called Outbound Raw with just under 200,000 subscribers. Drone shots, cliff trails, river crossings, nothing unusual until this trip. Deep in a forested canyon on their 4th day out, Chris spotted it first, half submerged in a shallow creek bed, completely motionless. They both assumed dead. Jake got closer and stopped cold. It was breathing. The creature lay on its side, pale salmon pink, nearly 10 feet from its domed skull to the end of its split tail. The spine pressed visibly up through thin skin. The membrane surrounding the lower body moved slowly with each breath. The eye sockets were closed, the vertical slit of a mouth slightly parted. Jake looked at Chris. Chris was already pulling the rope from his pack. They worked fast, quietly, binding the appendages while it slept, keeping distance from that skull. And then it opened its eyes. Both men froze, but they held the rope. And this time, whatever came out of the shadows was not going back in.
Let me go! Hold it, keep the rope tight! Hold it, keep the rope tight!
There are stretches of coastline in this country so remote that whatever washes ashore on them is seen by exactly one person before the tide decides to take it back. The photograph was posted on December 28, 2024 by an account called Strange Eye. No location beyond a river beach somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. No explanation. The man standing beside it is believed to be Mark Ellison, 44 years old, a property surveyor from Portland, Oregon. He had driven out alone that morning to document erosion patterns along a stretch of riverbank after an unusually violent high tide the night before. He told followers in a comment that he heard nothing, smelled nothing. He simply turned a bend in the shoreline, and it was there, sitting upright in the wet sand like it had been placed. Mark said he initially thought giant jellyfish, then decomposing stingray. Then he got closer, and both of those explanations quietly dissolved. Now look at it beside him. Mark is not a small man, and this thing, sitting partially collapsed on the sand, still reaches his chest. Fully extended, witnesses who were later contacted estimated it at nearly 8 feet from skull to tail tip. The head is what stops you. Smooth, domed, hairless, with a skull structure that carries proportions no marine animal on record shares. 2 deep black eye sockets with no visible pupils. a vertical slit where a mouth should be. No teeth exposed, no jaw definition. Just that hollow, upward-facing stare that looks less like a dead animal and more like an empty mask. The spine presses visibly up through the skin along the central body, like something architectural rather than biological. And from the waist down, two lower appendages stretch out and split apart into what looks like a warped, serrated tail fin, surrounded by a translucent membrane that has the look of unfinished embryonic tissue. Skin that was never quite completed, the strangest detail. No flies, no decay smell despite the heat, no birds circling. Whatever biological process normally announces death had simply not begun. After the image went viral, the internet divided into two hard camps. One insisted it was an AI-generated biomodel deliberately released to test public reaction to the idea of unknown species. The other pointed to deep-sea biology, arguing that creatures from pressurized depths deform catastrophically when they surface, and that something from far enough down could look like nothing we have ever cataloged. I at least skipped over the same detail. That skull, that specific dome, that vertical mouth, Haida oral tradition along the Pacific Northwest coast carries accounts of a deep water being they called the hollow-faced wanderer, a creature that lived below the light line of the ocean and surfaced only when the water above it was disturbed by something significant. Their accounts described it as pale, wing-like, with eyes that had already stopped seeing long before it died. Mark said in a follow-up post that he stood there for nearly 20 minutes before he could bring himself to touch it. He said it was not the appearance that held him. It was the feeling that whatever this was had not washed ashore by accident. It had arrived. There are crew members on that river to this day who will not talk about what they saw on that bank, and the ones who will all describe the exact same thing. The Colorado River Expedition is a licensed whitewater rafting company that runs guided trips down the upper Colorado through some of the most remote stretches of canyon wilderness in the country. On a Thursday afternoon in late July 2023, lead guide Derek Souza, 34, pulled his crew of 8 ashore on a flat red bank for a rest stop. Standard procedure. 15 minutes, stretch your legs, drink some water. Derek said he noticed the tree line first, a dense wall of pine about 500 yards up the bank sitting completely still in air that had no wind. Then one section of it moved, not the gentle sway of branches settling, a violent, deliberate parting, like something large was pushing through from the other side with no interest in being quiet about it. Derek told his crew to stay by the rafts. Then it stepped out.
Fish crossing road. A year ago, people in Washington saw this weird phenomena happening. A number of fishes were seen crossing the road. Just like you and me, they were all so shocked to see how these salmon fishes were showing this unusual behavior. However, this scenario is the result of the river flooding. What you're seeing are salmon going from a field that they've been washed into, back across the road to get back into the river to continue their journey. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, some salmon that get washed out do this to make it back. A flipping spider. What you're seeing right here is a spider which is newly discovered. When the researchers saw it for the first time flip-flopping its way through the desert, they were astonished. At first, it was thought that something might have triggered such behavior. However, later it was observed that this was a new species, and this spider was unlike all the others, and it only does its cartwheeling when trying to get away from a predator. Dog walks on water. We don't know what this dog was thinking, but he sure did surprise all the humans with his supernatural ability to walk on the water. Every single person in the party was just left shaken. It almost seems like something out of the movie The Secret Life of Pets. Do you think it could be based on a true story? Talking raven. Ravens are incredible beings and are considered to be one of the smartest birds. But one quality of theirs makes them more special than anyone else, and that is the way they can imitate human voices.
Hi.
Hi.
Good bird.
For instance, this clip shows a couple recording a raven perched on a stone, then try to make the bird imitate them. But at first, it doesn't seem to care. But then, all of a sudden, the raven starts repeating what they say.
alright, Mom. I'm alright, you alright?
It even says, "I'm alright."
I'm alright, you alright? You alright? I'm alright.
A poop fest. If you think penguins are just fluffy birds just walking here and there in the coldest regions on the Earth, well, you're wrong, because these penguins are actually having way more fun than any of us. Just that their style of having fun is a little unusual, because what they do love is to poop over one another. Now, I know, it might sound gross and you might go all ew hearing this, but they enjoy it a lot. And who are we to judge, right? Elephant steals food. Humans and animals have been living together for decades, and this year-long relation has led to us understanding each other pretty much. For instance, take the elephant as an example. Years and years after passing the same road, he has come to know that a truck passes the same road every day with lots of sugarcane. So, what did the elephant decide to do? He decided to take a shortcut to get food and steal from the truck whenever he gets the chance to. Ice balls. These tourists were out looking and admiring the natural beauty when one of them discovered this strange thing happening. He found a waterfall where the water was turning into perfectly round ice balls.
Ice balls.
Don't they just look perfect? And if you're thinking of hitting a friend with it, don't play with them or use them as weapons because they'll hurt. A strong bug. Bugs are often thought of as tiny creatures that anyone can easily squash, aren't they? However, this particular bug defies that stereotype and proves that size doesn't always equate to weakness. Its grip was one of the most powerful I have ever seen, clinging to the machine with an unyielding force that seemed to say, "Go ahead and try to break free." Isn't that truly remarkable? A grateful kangaroo. This kangaroo was stuck and had come to the conclusion that he cannot do anything about his situation and needs the help of humans. That is why he did not resist or punch the men who came to help him. Instead, after getting saved and safely on the land, he stood there, calmly waiting for the humans to shake his hand.
Oh, he's thanking ya.
Such bizarre creatures, not especially friendly, but impossible not to love. A sea lion. So this photographer thought she'd get some cool shots of these seals up close by laying low on the ground. But one of the seals spotted her and decided to check out what's going on. Next thing you know, this huge baby elephant seal is flopping over to investigate. And before she knows it, she's getting squished. Apparently, the seal weighed over 100 kilograms. But the best part is, she and her husband couldn't stop laughing, even though she was flattened like a pancake. Meerkats. Have you seen this video where a photographer was trying to capture some pictures of meerkats in their natural habitat? Well, the meerkats were not too happy being ignored, and they decided to check out the photographer instead. They climbed up on his head, back, and even his camera. These moments were called magic moments by the BBC, and we totally get why. Cartwheeling dolphin. This video features a man showing off his cartwheeling skills in front of a dolphin enclosure. At first, one curious dolphin tried to imitate him, but gave up after one attempt. But then another dolphin arrived and was totally into it. She mimicked every single cartwheel the man did, as if she was trying to impress him. I mean, who knew? Maybe the dolphin did get a crush on the man, right?
This is so cool. This is... Oh my god.
Chimp washing cloth. Be it monkeys, chimps, or gorillas, they are all said to be the most intelligent animals on Earth. And they imitate humans almost perfectly. For instance, see this one chimp who was recorded by a camera washing a cloth. Then it cleaned its hands and face with it. The caretakers had no idea where the animal had picked up this habit. According to them, no one ever did anything like that in front of the chimp. But then, where did he learn that? Lion and deer. Take a look at this unlikely pair taking a leisurely walk through the woods. It's a lion and a deer. Can you imagine? This trail cam clip is truly special, considering lions are notorious predators and rulers of the jungle. Yet here we witness a deer fearlessly following a lion, as if they're old chums or something. Who knows what really happens in the animal world? But one thing is certain, This video is guaranteed to brighten your day and put a smile on your face. A Caecilian. What you're seeing right here might look like a worm to you, but just look at its fang-type teeth and the whole head. This is not a worm, folks. It is called a Caecilian, and these are amphibians. Yup, just like frogs. They just lack arms and legs. But as they lack, their nature made them the only amphibians to have fangs. Fishing cat. Have you ever heard of a fishing cat? No, it's not a cat that likes to go fishing with a rod and reel. These adorable felines are the only ones in the world that specialize in catching fish. While other cats may nibble on a fish occasionally, these guys are pros at it. Found in South Asia, fishing cats are known for their unique hunting style. They dive face first into the water to ambush their prey. Turtle helps turtle. This video shows two turtles hanging out together, when suddenly one of them flips over and can't get back on its feet. But what happens next is truly heartwarming. The other turtle comes to the rescue and uses its head to push and help the struggling one roll back over. This behavior has been seen among turtles a lot of times. When one rolls over the other, one comes running to help. Chimp sweeps floor. This amazing chimp was seen sweeping the floor in his cage with a broom. It's incredible, right? According to his caretaker, the chimp learned this behavior by simply watching them sweep the floor. Apparently, she's usually the one cleaning up the enclosure, but this clever chimp decided to lend a hand. A friendly deer. This man was sitting in the woods minding his own business when this little guy decided to come up to him and give some company. What did he want in return? Just some scratches under his neck. That is all the payment needed for such nice company. And look at that cute face. Smart fish. Every time I hear about catfish, they're always doing something wild. Now in India, these slippery swimmers are taking to land and learning how to walk. Don't they have enough space in the vast ocean? Apparently not, as they venture onto land in search of grub. I don't know about you, but to me it's kind of freaky to see so many of them scurrying about. What a strange sight. Sloths. If you thought sloths were nothing but lazy critters, prepare to have your mind blown. Because it turns out they can move pretty darn fast when they want to. I mean, check out the footage of those little guys attacking those humans with lightning speed. Honestly, it's probably best to give them their space and let them do their sloth thing without disturbing them. Who knew these seemingly laid-back animals had such a surprising burst of energy in them? Weird creature in woods. While on their routine bike ride along steep tracks, a group of bikers encountered a terrifying experience that would haunt them forever. As they ventured deeper into the forest, a strange humanoid creature suddenly emerged from the side of the track and quickly started running away. The sight of the creature caused one of the bikers to lose control and fall off his bike. Shocked, the biker with the camera attempted to chase after the creature, but to his surprise, it vanished into thin air, leaving him bewildered. A friendly seal. As Vincent Vajera was enjoying a leisurely fishing trip off the coast of California, he got an unexpected visitor, a friendly seal who decided to hop aboard his kayak. Initially, Vincent was a bit startled, but he quickly realized that the seal just wanted a hug. The adorable creature snuggled up to Vincent and refused to leave, creating a heartwarming moment that was caught on camera.
Here's my new friend. He jumped aboard out at the bridge.
Despite several attempts to coax the seal back into the water, the little guy just wanted to stay and hang out with his new friends. A mermaid. Check out this crazy footage captured by some guys in Israel. They managed to catch what looks like a real-life mermaid on camera. The quality isn't great, but you can totally see the creature chilling on a rock before diving back into the water when it notices the guys creeping up.
Oh my God! What is that?
Do you think this thing was the real deal or just some kind of hoax? We want to hear your thoughts. A beluga whale's crush. If you think you're the only one crushing hard on all those Korean oppas, well, you're wrong, because it isn't just us humans, but these beluga whales too who love Korean men. This beluga whale has such a big crush on her trainer that it refuses to kiss anyone else but him. And waits all day for just him to come to her and play with her. The other two males have to be separated from her because they like her so much that she finds them annoying. a close call. This guy was out in the wilderness filming a video, just minding his own business, when all of a sudden, he sees something bolting towards him like a bat out of hell. And guess what? It's a freaking mountain lion! Yeah, you heard me right. This guy is staring down a big, wild apex predator. But you know what's even crazier? He manages to narrowly escape like a boss. This dude had a seriously close call.
No, you taste, dude.
But he lives to tell the tale, and we're all glad he made it out in one piece. Woman helps kangaroo. This little guy had his hands burnt in a forest fire and didn't know what to do. So he came to the humans for help. And lucky for him, this kind woman was there to lend a hand. It's incredible how calm and trusting the kangaroo is while the woman tends to his wounds. Bear chases snowboarder. So this girl was snowboarding as usual, but then something unexpected happened to her. She was singing a song while getting on her board, and once ready, she started riding. Suddenly, she noticed a glimpse of a bear chasing her from behind, but she didn't fully comprehend what was going on. Thankfully, the girl was quick enough to escape the bear and unknowingly saved her life. A weird creature. This weird little thing was recorded deep underwater, transforming into different shapes. The researchers, the people on the internet, in fact, every single person who saw this was shocked to his core, wondering what this creature could have been and what other superpowers it might hold. Can this be an alien? I mean, I can't help but wonder, you know?